All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it, and welcome to it. This is Alex August, yours truly, on yet another stream of VividLife TV. We are officially live, y'all, on what I'm liking to call the 10K Vivid. I have now extended the show's reach across all platforms. So, and I mean, I know it's ambitious, but if we hit 10K, that will be through that possibility. So this live stream is just conversations, me bringing different guests on, me bringing myself and just having conversations that surround the Vivid Life, folks' journeys, celebration of who you are, celebration of what you're doing, and of course, just watching people as they grow and blossom. Today's show is going to be pretty good. Today's stream is going to be pretty good. I'm so used to saying show, as y'all can tell from a past life of mine, but nonetheless, this is a show anyway, and I want to make sure as you all are tuning in that you understand that. So here's the groove, everybody. Whenever we're live, we have a chat feature that is going to be available to us here. You can kind of check that out here. So you have the ability to chat, including if you're watching through Twitter, if you're watching through Twitch, if you're watching through Instagram, if you're watching through whatever you're watching through, we have a chat feature available to you. So throughout the stream, if you want to engage with us, engage with my guest, DJ BrightLight, definitely make sure you drop something in the chat. We're keeping eyes on that, and we will definitely keep you as part of the fun here. So without further ado, y'all, let me just get my bracelets correct so that they don't make a lot of noise. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring in none other than DJ BrightLight. He's joining us right here with us on VividLife TV. He said he wanted to be the weatherman on the show. What's good, bro?
What's going on with you, man? It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, bro.
No problem.
I'm excited for a good show. I can do a little weatherman introduction.
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
Have the green screen going with a blizzard going outside. No, you don't have to make it full. We can still
okay.
Blizzard going outside. But yeah, right now Florida is experiencing, I guess, what the rest of the world, or rest of the United States experiences on a daily. It's cold. It's cold. It's a blizzard outside. Temperatures are in the 50s, and a lot of Floridians are bundled up. But nevertheless, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm in a cozy little spot right now. I'm able to do the show, so I'm ready to go.
Man, it's crazy because I don't know why everyone's tripping about it being cold right now, because it's Christmas season. It's the holidays. Like I miss when it used to be cold when we were kids and Christmas would roll around and it would be in the 40s and in the 50s in Miami. Everybody got sweaters on their poodle on South Beach and stuff like that. And like whenever it's like Christmas without cold, to me feels empty. So if it's going to be the holidays, I'm cool with it being the other night. I think it was 42 degrees. Like I'm cool with that. Nah, I'm cool with that, bro. When I went to Indianapolis last week, bro, I got off the plane. I got off the plane and it was 26 degrees. And I was like, bro, I had a jacket, a blazer, and a coat. And I was like, yeah, I'm still not equipped for this. So
you don't have no layers.
Huh?
Your layers were inadequate, basically.
Come on, man. I got that coat from H&M, bro. That coat wasn't from anything authentic that was ready for the cold, man. So yeah. All right. So Here on VividLife TV, what I first like to always do is open up the show with a little bit of a story. And if y'all are if you tune into us right now on YouTube, on Twitch, first and foremost, go ahead and hit a like, hit a subscribe button for me. Follow me on Twitch, and of course, subscribe on YouTube. That's I am Alex August. We're gonna open up with a little bit of a story time, but I definitely want BrightLight to kick this off. And my story time for you, bro, is obviously you're a DJ. You've been, how long have you, what is your official count now? 13, 12 years? 10?
I don't even, when did I start?
Officially or play? I want to say, I say 20. Oh, you know what? I say 2013 because that's when we did Welcome Back Jam at USF.
True. Okay.
And you were on the ones and twos. So
officially 10 years.
10 years. All right. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. And in your 10 years experience, what is the nightmare event that you hosted? Like, what is just like the overall event you've not hosted? I'm sorry, for you it'd be DJ, but an event that you DJ'd that was just absolutely like a catastrophe, a nightmare. Like, what was the scenario? What happened? Run it by us real quick.
All right. I think I'm really trying to think because nightmare scenarios are kind of like you really don't want those in the DJ business because that means that you're not able to do it. I can't, and I haven't been able. There hasn't been a job I haven't been able to finish. I can say there were a nightmare scenario. I got one. So I'm doing a wedding downtown Tampa at that new little park area that they have, and it's a little open. And they have a lot of like events with the auditorium feel next to the Riverwalk. It's an outdoor.
You're talking about over at Curtis Hickson on the elevated park. Yeah.
So I'm doing a wedding there, and everything went great from as far as the meeting with the client, making sure everything that they need is up to par, and the venue was great and beautiful. There was not a cloud in sight. It was almost like a beautiful, perfect day for a wedding. And so I started set everything outside. Didn't use a tent or anything to cover my stuff, and we got going. Let's just say less than 15 minutes later, just say 30, 45 minutes later, once the wedding starts, the sky goes from, Florida, no cloud in sight, to almost every cloud around. And we're talking about as the bride is getting out of whatever transportation she got to walk down the aisle, it starts raining.
Damn.
And I have no way to cover any of my equipment. My speaker is probably like 30 yards away from me with no type of protection. And all I could do was cover my equipment with the tablecloth. That's all. That's the only thing I had because I literally were set in the middle of the area for like a nice little wedding.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, it rained, but it was like a drizzle.
Okay.
But it didn't stop. It didn't stop.
Yeah. Okay.
So now my electronics are at a high risk. Talking about wireless mic, talking about speaker, talking about controller, everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, we barely made it out of there. We kind of rushed it because they wanted to like have a stoic moments and stuff. But I'm like, nah, bro, we can't do this right now.
That kind of reminds me of that one wedding we did in Clearwater, like right after Irma.
Oh yeah,
where it was like, just to paint the picture. This was not. I mean, it wasn't a nightmare. It was close to one. It was very, very close to a nightmare. But we had ended up getting a gig for y'all that are tuning in. We got a gig, and they were kind of moving and grooving, going towards a wedding in September. Irma hits Florida, and y'all know the story of how Irma hit us. Everything was like out, down, broken up, all this kind of stuff. And Luckily, their day was clear. And as they're going through their ceremony, we are watching in the background of their ceremony just this ominous dark cloud approaching. Wind starts to pick up like some Dragon Ball Z type stuff. The groom, the best man, and the maid of honor are holding down the arch because it's blowing away, and we're just like, "Hey, listen!" I'm like in the back, like, let's try to hurry up so we all don't get caught in this rain.
Yes.
Crazy stuff. If I find a video, I'll find a video and share it.
And the moment we finished and got everything inside, it came down.
Pouring.
It came down.
Yeah, that sounds just about like that almost, except in that case you actually got caught.
I got caught up.
Gotta have your tent, bro. No matter, I can't even say that because a tent would be aesthetically.
Exactly.
Yeah, a tent wouldn't really be aesthetically pleasing.
And I wasn't like in the back. I was off to the side, so I was like, "Who is this guy with this tent?"
Yeah.
Like.
So I think for me, a nightmare situation that I have been in, man, I've actually been in a lot, to be honest with you, bro. I've been in quite a few. I don't want to say a lot because that sounds really bad, but I think I've been in about 3 or 4.
Okay.
And one of those being something along the lines of just whenever like I'm hosting and I could tell, like I be pressing people about day of shows. I always do. I'm always like, yo, make sure you have your day of show. Where's the day of show? Like, let's stick to it. And I just remember, you always have that one client that's just like, I don't need one. We got it. Or they have a really, really skeleton version of it. And I remember an event where it all fell apart. Like everything they thought was going to happen did not. And I'm usually like, I'm actually always ready for that, right? But this particular time, bro, it was just too much. And now I'm like event coordinator at the same time that I'm on the mic. And of course, when you're on the mic, bro, you gotta like play as though everything's all good. Yeah, all right, y'all, we're back. Man, I got home that night exhausted, bro, just from like faking the funk the whole time, bro.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It was rough, bro. Rough. But yeah. So as y'all are tuning in, you can still see me, right? We're all good.
Yeah. We're good now.
Okay.
It's great. It looks better now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it looked like poltergeist on there, right? But yeah, man, as we go through this, y'all, and you're tuning in, I know we got some people checking in. Just to let y'all know, if you're tuned in Twitch, if you're tuned in on Facebook,
what up, B?
If you're tuned in on YouTube, we can't see you until you say something. So go ahead and drop a comment for us. We're trying to get to 20 comments. If we can get to 20 comments, we will keep on going with the storytelling. But of course, we got BrightLight here, so we're gonna just kind of chop it up and just keep the conversations rolling. As we go forward with more of the show, we'll talk about different topics. There's a lot going on. BrightLight wants to talk about current events. I actually want to get his opinion on some of the stuff that's going on, especially when it comes to movies. But we're definitely going to go right into obviously a little bit of your resume, right? You obviously, the both of us started on a show that is not different from this right here. Good Knockin' Radio, which started just like this. You moved on over to working with Royal Heat. You've worked with Full Moon Branding. You've worked with quite a bit of people. Tell the folks what you have going on now. Like what's BrightLight up to these days?
BrightLight is still working with a lot of different people, a lot of different other DJs and companies. That's pretty much kind of like a big niche of mine. Kind of like business to business. So I've built up and learned how to become a reliable DJ as well as a dependable and a good DJ, because those are the qualities that you really need, so that other DJs can entrust me to help them when they're double booked, or refer me when they are double booked and things of that nature. So, and it's been a like a great journey. I can say I didn't think I would be like a corporate level or higher, like a DJ outside of clubs, because that's kind of like where my mindset was. But I kind of don't even really DJ in clubs anymore. That's kind of
Right.
like a crazy thing about it. So just like learning that, and it sucks because sometimes you want to have a club vibe, but have club events. So it's a struggle. You have to balance it, but it's not like a deal breaker. I
Yeah.
just find myself in the club every now and then to get that nostalgia.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's crazy because you and I kind of had two separate, like, we ended up going like two separate ways when it came to like what we were doing, right? You ended up kind of getting your start in the club, and I was trying to get in the club. Like I was like, yeah, man, I want to host in the club. I want to host in the club. And then it was like, nah, man, I don't want to host in the club because that's gonna like mess up the the wedding bag. Because I don't think necessarily that's not the greatest place to sell yourself. And I feel like over time, especially in the last like 5 years, I just realized like, yeah, man, it's actually harder to sell yourself from the corner, right? Because you get kind of cornered into like being one type of DJ or being one type of host. And so I'm like, I'm actually glad, very glad that am I 10 years in? Yeah, 10 years in. In the 10 years that I've been hosting, like I just never had gotten pigeonholed or like kind of cornered into like one genre or anything like that. So I'm very good with that. And I'm cool with that. And I'm glad you had the same experience too. So all right, let's get into these topics though. One of which is this is a little different. This is something off brand, but obviously both of us are in the Tampa Bay area. And I started looking up like different places you and I have hosted at, like just venue names and stuff. And I was trying to like look it up. And I came across a list of how many places in Tampa have closed down, bro. It's insane. It is insane. Like, I didn't think, everyone talks about how much Tampa is growing and how much there's growth potential here. And it's like,
Where?
it's growing, but it's kind of growing like a fungus. It's kind of growing like a mushroom, right? It's like something has to die. And
Right,
so
in order for it to grow.
here's a list of some places that have closed down so far. And if you're tuned in and you're familiar with some of these places, some of these are going to catch you off guard because they caught me off guard.
Shock my mind.
Number one, the Treehouse. The Treehouse in Hyde Park closed down. Didn't even know it. Haven't heard anything of it.
Did it change the like name or something?
I don't know, but the last time I rode down, what is that? Cleveland, Platte, whatever that street is.
Yeah.
I just thought it was closed, like, oh, we're not operating right now. But apparently I read a blog from the Tampa Bay Times that it's closed. And we're talking about, for y'all that tune in, we're talking about the Treehouse that's across the street from Hyde Park Cafe.
About to say Hyde Park closed?
Bro, Hyde Park is still open. I don't know how, bro. I don't know what they do. Hey, shout out to them. I'm not saying they're doing anything bad. I'm just saying they've been pretty consistent, and it's kind of interesting that they have been untouched since the dawn of time. Like they're still there.
Closed.
Yeah, they're closed.
IG says closed. Oh my gosh.
Another one. Apparently, White Lie had their closing party last week. So White Lie in Ybor City has decided to sunset. Absolutely sucks because one, that venue alone has been so many things. I remember 10 years ago that was Green Iguana. And then it became some fireman, Kelly's fireman something, and became something else. And now it was White Lie, probably for a long time, the longest run it's had. And ever since that one situation from October 31st, from the shooting that happened in Ybor, it just looks like I don't know what's going on, because also Coyote Ugly is closing. So White Lie, well, yeah, it's like I think half a block down. Coyote Ugly is also
closing. We were just across the street the other day.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Should have went in there because I ain't going back.
I've only been to Coyote Ugly 3 times.
Less than a handful.
It's. Have you ever DJ'd there before? No, but you've definitely DJ'd at White Lie before.
White Lie, yes.
Yeah, and you DJ'd at the spot it was before it was White Lie.
Yeah.
Okay. It's freaking crazy, bro. The Social House, where I mean that one's obvious. The Social House is now Lepley's. So
I thought it was Le Play.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I thought it was Lepley's. It's got an E and a Y. It doesn't have any accent mark. What you just said, so it got an accent mark. I don't.
What?
I don't know.
Le Play.
No, bro, it's Lepley's.
Nah, I'm not gonna let you butcher it like that. No.
All right. Well, it's not Le Play's, bro. It can't be. I need to find the pronunciation.
Oh my gosh. Continue. You're not,
all right.
you're not.
Datsun Dough is closed.
Is that the one that just had Dats on the outside?
Yeah, Dats, and then next door was Dough. A cute concept maybe 10 years ago.
Dats was doing crazy good though.
I mean, they expanded to St. Pete, so that's what caught me off guard. Is like they opened up a Dats in St. Pete probably around like 2018, 2019. But I think the biggest thing is like the pandemic. Like after the pandemic, I don't know if these places, I'm not gonna speak on that, but like I don't know if they took out loans to stay open but it just seemed like after the pandemic, everyone started struggling and everything started going downhill for everybody. So I don't know, but like my thing with Dats was just the wait time. Like the wait time on a Sunday or a Saturday.
You had to order ahead.
Yeah, bro. Like we got a spot for you tomorrow. Like it was one of them kind of places. Yeah.
And it was so small. It was smaller than the house.
You know, I've only been to the South Tampa Dats once, bro.
And it was small.
Yeah, I was actually shocked. Like Garen Flowers was in town. I think it wasn't like a going away situation. I think it might have been his going away situation when he was finally moving to LA. And I went there and it was like close to closing time. And I'm like, wow, bro, I'm finally in here, bro. Like this is what it looks like on the inside. The one that hurt my feelings the most in terms of closures, Ichikoro, bro.
Yeah.
Ichikoro hurt my feelings.
Why did that close down?
I have no idea, bro. And it's crazy because not only that's actually the only one on this list where the Tampa one and the St. Pete one closed. Yeah. Ichikoro, man, that ramen, that was the best. I don't care what nobody say. Ichikoro had the best ramen in Tampa. Because I just had some ramen today and it was not good, bro. It was not good. And I paid 30. I don't want to say. Yeah, I paid like $30 for ramen, rice on the side, and a drink.
This is like terrible.
Yeah. The Cask Social in Soho.
Really?
Yeah, that place looks. They need a new resident because that place looks really bad empty on that corner. Like really, really bad on that corner. I don't know if you've ever heard of the pub in South Tampa, the Boneyard.
I heard of Boneyard.
Fly Bar.
I don't think I ever went to Fly Bar.
I didn't either. Fly Bar just closed. Like the crazy thing about these next two, Fly Bar and Main Course closing is crazy to me because I feel like Main Course just opened. Main Course didn't even hit
that name too.
Yeah, Main Course didn't even hit like 4 years. But from what I understand, it was a food truck first. And speaking of food truck, Pop Goes the Waffle also closed. I don't know if you know about that. Yeah, Pop Goes the Waffle was a food truck, and then the food truck became an actual spot, and then they just closed. But yeah, Main Course is crazy because Main Course became for Black people what Dats was for everybody because everybody was talking about the Main Course. And
I didn't know.
I never went. The one time that I did go, they were just like, there was a crazy wait time. So I just chose not to go. But yeah, like these aren't places that like, these aren't places that were like hole in the walls that nobody
What?
went to. These are places that were like the
These are
jam in
names.
Tampa. Like
Yeah.
Datsun Doe is probably the one place that catches me off guard. The place that doesn't catch me off guard that it closed down, and I'm gonna be real, Parks and Rec. I'm not surprised. Like
They went through it.
I don't think anybody's surprised. Like when you know the real Parks and Rec in St. Pete and you go to the one that they had in Tampa, it was just like, what are we doing here, bro? Like,
Y'all tried it.
Y'all are doing too. This is not Asia. Like y'all are doing too much. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
And then I think the biggest one of all of them, First Friday St. Pete is officially, it's more of a complicated situation with that one because you've been to First Friday St. Pete, right? Yeah. And if y'all have been to First Friday St. Pete, drop that in the chat. Let us know. But like, I didn't know someone was throwing that. I thought it was just like,
I didn't know that either.
I thought it was like a
collective agreement.
Yeah, like a collective, like, hey, all of the bars are gonna do this thing, and it's just gonna be a St. Pete tradition. But I did not know that they were blowing $12,000 a month to put that event on, with no kind of revenue, with no revenue, no stream of like income, just strictly donations and contributions from, I don't know, viewers like you, like on some PBS shit. Like, I didn't know that. I don't think anyone knew that, bro. So it's like hearing that First Friday was like canceled indefinitely was just like
that's shocking because
what?
The whole formula that you just stated is just bizarre.
And then that part of y'all were doing this with no stream of income. How? Like it well, here's what because I read up on it and I was like, I'm so curious now. They had vendors at First Friday, which, hey, I was lit. So I don't remember anyone trying to sell me anything.
What time? Time out. What time does it start, though? Allegedly, did it start? Because I think it started early, like 5-ish. And they have like certain areas that were like sectioned off. I'm not 100%, but I think that's. But we never, ever made it to St. Pete
on time
before 10 o'clock on this Friday night.
And well, I've seen it because remember, I used to work down there, right? So I've seen it go from like a casual day to like, I used to see what it looked like when they set up. And I'm gonna be honest, I used to try to leave as fast as possible. I'm like, I ain't trying to get blocked in and nothing crazy like that. But they used to have vendors that would have like a tent, right? Or you would pay for a table. So I know that they were probably getting that money, but there's no way you're getting enough money from that to pay for police detail, for barricades, porta potties, extra trash cans. Like, I saw a comment on Instagram when they announced it, and somebody was like, honestly, y'all weren't very strategic about this event. And I'm like, I hate to say it, but I feel like they low-key weren't.
No, not low-key. They were not at all.
I feel like there's got to be a better way to finesse that situation, because you're essentially bringing people to all of the bars, and the bars are making dumb, stupid money. You know what I mean? Like, just dumb, stupid, crazy money. So the fact that you didn't finesse anything from that, you didn't twist their arm, like the wristbands you're giving for people to go to bars, you should have been like, oh, if you don't want to participate, then we won't give people a wristband for your bar. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's crazy. But that one, I can't. At first, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a sign of some bad things for the Bay. And then when I read up on the actual story, I was like, is it? Because I feel like people are still going to go to St. Pete on First Friday.
Yeah.
Like, it's
just knowing that's kind of like what you do.
Yeah. Just like in Tampa, Well, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but in Tampa we have Fourth Friday. Did you know that?
I'm done right now, Alex. I might just walk off.
I
I'm
did
not.
not like. I heard about Fourth Friday, and I promise you, I have driven through downtown on the fourth Friday of the month, and I did not see anything that resembled.
It's a Facebook page or something.
Nah, it's an event apparently. You know what I think too? This is a conversation piece that I feel like sometimes I have it with myself. Sometimes people have it with me because you know very well that I'm like, sometimes I'm very trigger happy when it comes to events. Like, I just feel like a lot of times Tampa doesn't have a certain vibe. And I'm just like, all right, well, I want to create the vibe that I want to experience myself, right? I'm a host, I DJ as well. So you kind of understand where I'm coming from. But like sometimes I just really want to be like, the vibe that I'm looking for in Tampa does not exist, right? I want to create it. And I'm like, I want to do an event. And then I start crunching the numbers and I'm like, shit, I guess we're not gonna have that vibe because it's just like, I don't think people understand how expensive it is to throw events. Like, even when you think you've got it wrapped up, right? You're like, oh yeah, I know what we have to do. It's just like, oh, I gotta pay for security. And it's like, do you really want to be the event that doesn't have security at the door? That doesn't even sound realistic. That don't sound realistic. So it's just like every time it ends up being that way. And when you see these venues and these places starting to close, you're starting to like, I just remind myself that like, yo, Tampa, not only is it missing a vibe, but there's a chance that vibe just can't live here because so many of these venues can't sustain what they're trying to do. Not to mention, most of these are restaurants.
Restaurants that want to make some club money.
Which shouldn't be as hard because if you go to any other city, restaurants always have clubs. Like,
but
restaurants need to understand that they are also a venue. Like, don't be shocked if people come to your restaurant and say, I would like to do a public event here. That's just me. What are your thoughts on it?
Because yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm trying to think about like when I was in Atlanta and Texas and DC, hell, even California.
Bro, you going to restaurants.
And most of them have like a live DJ or like a party going on. And it's slow, but it's flowing.
Right.
Like they're getting people in, they're getting people out. There's an act, but I feel like they just know how to cater to people. You feel me?
Where you mean other cities?
Other cities. They understand what's the processes of it. And
I feel like Tampa wants Tampa sometimes get like, and I hate sounding so general, but a lot of times what happens in Tampa is like everyone's pursuing activity with not really a lot of consideration for like what is the experience, right? There's just certain, like when you go to those places out in, I'm gonna use Atlanta for example, because every restaurant in Atlanta
it's a club.
It does not matter, bro. It does not matter. You're gonna have that grass wall, you're gonna have a booth, you're gonna have someone bringing you shrimp and grits, and right behind them is someone bringing out a bottle with sparklers. Like they don't care. And it's when you think about it, it's like no one in there is actually clubbing. They're just eating shrimp and grits with a little bit of bounce, and that's it. So it's just like, okay, cool. I bet. Oh, this is my jam. Let me get this motherfucking shrimp and grits, and that's it. Whereas, like in Tampa, the first place that I can think of that's like that, obviously, you have the Exchange in downtown. You have Something Grove and Mama Juana's. Bro, Mama Juana's. Have you been? Bro, you gotta go. In fact, what are you doing for your birthday? You don't have birthday plans. I know you. You don't have birthday. I know this dude. every year I hit Paul up, yo, bro, what you doing for your birthday? Paul's birthday is 2 days after mine, and every year I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, oh, Paul, what you doing for your birthday? Nothing. All right, bro. So listen, for your birthday, let's go to Mama Juana's, bro, and you're gonna experience
The
like
Mama Juana's.
Mama Juana. It's what used to be Green Gators,
I know where it is. Yeah.
bro, bro, bro. I'm not lying to you. They have created by far the best vibe I have seen in Tampa. Now, granted, I don't listen to all of that. I don't listen to all that, but it's a vibe still. And they do it very. They got the grass wall, they got the booths, they got the tables, they got the sparklers and all that. It's very like Miami, very like Atlanta in there. But everywhere else is just like this is a family environment. Like, bro, like you have a restaurant with a great view, and you have somebody out there playing a guitar doing covers of Back That Ass Up, bro. Like,
That's funny as hell.
who here is enjoying this, bro? Like, but yeah, that's just my take. But of that list, what do you think is the craziest one? What's the craziest one that just caught you off guard? Like,
To be honest, taking Ichikoro out of it, I would say the Social House was a one that I thought was gonna be around for a minute, and then I was another one would be Boneyard. That's crazy. That one's gone.
I gotta look up Boneyard real quick because I'm not familiar. Wait, did they have a brunch there?
Yeah,
And it was like a fire brunch.
yeah.
No, this is in Ybor.
That's what Boneyard is.
Interesting. Then I've never been there before. Yeah,
That brunch is fire as hell.
they close and Boneyard is actually now the new Blind Tiger. Blind Tiger moved in there, yeah, because the new Blind Tiger was huge. Yo, I just read another article. There's another article on the article that I'm reading about Boneyard closing that says that the Rock Brothers Brewing is now closed. Like somebody convinced me that Tampa is okay, bro. This looks and sounds like, remember when we got to Tampa? Like 08, like summer 08, maybe going into 09, pretty much up until the Super Bowl was here. Do you remember what it looked like when you drove down Florida Avenue?
Mm-hmm.
It was just
very like run down. Not I'm not gonna say run down, but it looked commercial.
Like Detroit.
Yeah.
It looked like Detroit. It was like abandoned, empty. Up until like Seminole Heights started becoming like Seminole Heights. Cool, let's go get some.
But even when like businesses were moving there before it became Seminole Heights, it would be abandoned. Nice ass place. Abandoned. Nice ass.
We sell tires. We sell tires, and then we work on cars. Abandoned. Something like it was. I feel like Tampa might look like that very soon again. The only difference is we got people who are going to come and buy stuff now.
Yeah.
But I don't know much about restaurants outside of watching a couple of seasons of Bar Rescue. But like can you really just come into Tampa, bring a restaurant here and be like, this is going to be the hit. Like this is going to be the new vibe.
So I'm gonna be honest, and it's tough to be here for so long, and to see the quote unquote advances that have been made in Tampa, and then you compare it to a lot of the other spots in Florida.
Yeah,
and it's just so behind. Like I remember going to Orlando, and all it was just going to UCF was like Disney area, a nice little downtown, and then UCF. Now it's like Kissimmee has overgrown it. Disney, then you have the like international just looks and feels alive as you drive by it on I-4. Then
Yeah.
when you get to downtown, it's getting bigger and bigger every single day you drive by there. And I haven't even been over to UCF, but I know when we first went to UCF, there was just a street worth of stuff. I know probably every light that leads out of UCF has a major type of store brand or Barks brand on every corner, but
Yeah.
it's not a corner, it's a circle school. So like every few areas it's probably massive at this point.
Yeah.
And then you compare it to what USF looks like. Like Fowler, granted, Fowler looks night and day from when we got here, but that's one road out
Yeah.
of the Fowler Fletcher and 40th Street and 50. You want to add like outside add 50th
Those
Street.
are all,
All
it's
of that
all the
still
same.
looks the same. It
It's
still
all the
looks
same.
the same.
Well, I mean, we lost Gators dockside. Rest in peace, Gators dockside.
Yeah, we
So much
did.
fun.
That's the only thing we lost, but everything
Yeah.
else went.
I
But
mean,
that's it.
yeah. And I mean, to your point, there's, I don't really know, bro. Like, I feel like Orlando has such a big, obviously, tourism and hospitality industry, right? Miami has tourism hospitality. What else cities in Florida? Like, well, yeah, that's kind of, to me, Tampa's the big three. It's like Miami, Fort
Exactly.
Lauderdale, South Florida.
To be honest, we never add in Jacksonville, even though that's the largest city in
The
the whole
largest city,
country.
yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like it doesn't fit Florida.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. It
I'm going to say it. You been there before?
I have. I actually, bro, I went out in Jacksonville one time. I went to the club and I was like, man, this was such a good night. And somebody was like, yo, it ain't always this good. I'm like, bro, whoa, like, they calm down, bro. It's like, it ain't all like, it was just like they scared the shit out of me. And I was like, I don't know if I want to come back to Jacksonville then. You
But
saying like it's
it's
shootings
it's
every
a
time?
crazy, dangerous place.
Yeah. But also Jacksonville also doesn't have a leading industry, not one that's as obvious as like Orlando and Miami. And Tampa, that to my point, Tampa doesn't have, they do, I'm not gonna say it, but Tampa doesn't have a leading industry. So it's like, what is everyone is coming to Tampa like basically bringing their own vibe, and sometimes the mini micro vibes are just butting heads. It's like if everyone just came here and saw who was kind of bringing and creating an outline
Yeah.
of these are the types of vibes we do, then it would be like, okay, cool. Well, everyone would know like either I'm going to fit in or I'm going to challenge and kind of create my own thing. Like to me, that's what could have happened circa 2015, but it was like circa 2015, 2016, 2017. And you remember this because we were part of this whole movement, was like young professionals. Everything was like, yo, it's so many young, educated professionals coming to Tampa. We're gonna cater to them. And then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, you're just kidding. Fuck it. And so it's like, what are we
Man,
doing here?
what
What
are we
are we
doing?
actually doing here? So
This
I mean,
city is just
and I'm not
confused.
I'm not knocking Tampa, but I think the everything that I've said kind of goes back to like what you said, where it's like when you've been here this long, you've seen Tampa in all of her nightgowns and not all of her bad bitch dresses, and you're just like, girl, you should,
This is a late night city, so they be coming out in some stuff.
yeah, like girl, you look great, but you know you got that fupa like that dress. I don't Tampa girl, get the other dress you had on. I feel like peak Tampa of being Tampa was 2016, 2017. Like that was Tampa being Tampa. And then after that, it has slowly started to become like other people coming here and just doing what they
Taking
want.
over.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, dog, I was driving by USF today, and the apartments or lofts across the street, there was like a big ass Ohio State banner on one of the balconies, and I'm just like, I was like, all right, let me break. I was like, maybe that's a recent graduate who did undergrad at Ohio State. First off, you already know me. I don't like Ohio State.
Yeah,
Maybe they did undergrad at Ohio State and now they're at USF doing their masters, right? Then I'm like, well, who's to say that people who live in these buildings even still go to USF? Like these,
exactly.
you know what I mean? These might just be where young people live, right? Just Gen Z kids who doing whatever. What's going on? What's going on? You know what I mean? Like it may be like just these different groups of people who just moved in and they're grooving and doing their thing. But I'm like, I say this all the time where I'm just like, I remember the Bulls country banners, bro. It used to be like, welcome to Bulls country. You go to Target, there used to be a USF section. You go to
Whole
Publix,
section,
USF section. Now it's
everything USF. Now they like, hey, welcome to Publix. Yeah, we're right across the street from USF, but we don't support them.
nah,
Like,
what it
what?
is welcome to Tampa, FSU grads. Come here, come on, come on. Let me get you would you like a 2-for-1? Would you like a you know what I mean?
Florida Gators?
Yeah,
Come
Florida
on
Gators. Come
down.
on. FAMU, welcome. Like it's crazy, man. So it's a symptom of the fact that we've been here so long, and I'm always shocked at how many people have left. Actually, one of your frat brothers, I just saw his post about him leaving and just dipping off to Atlanta. And I'm like, oh wow. Good homie of mine, Gats. Gats just left to I think either Atlanta or LA. Like people are just they're
Wow.
leaving Florida in droves, and no one. It's kind of a quiet thing that no one's really. It's like
No one's making announcements like they used to.
we don't talk about that. Yeah, like yo, people are just popping up with their location. Yo, my new spot in Atlanta, dope, yo. Like, what? When did you
What?
learn? Like,
You didn't
bro,
even do no going away party?
Hollow Red is in New York.
Yeah, I found that out.
I'm like, bro, GTA 6 is based on that. Yes, GTA 6 is definitely based on that. And if you go on my channel, bro, like a couple of Art Basel weekend, I think I might have mentioned this to you. Art Basel weekend and GTA 6's trailer dropping in the same week could not have been better. It was like,
On brand.
yeah, everything you saw in that trailer
It
is
happens.
real life, bro.
Yeah,
Like
no
people
questions.
people people drive like GTA NPCs, bro. Like just straight up. Just straight up, like, what are you doing? So
Like
yeah.
as I was watching the trailer, I was like, wow, they're really capturing a lot of Florida. And I'm like, this is really the place we live.
Yeah, like this
Like,
is I
all right,
was it's like
hold on, before you finish, like, I kid you not, if you're driving home on the weekend, let's just say Sunday night or Monday, and going back to whatever part of Florida you're going to, and you're taking like back roads, you are going to see trucks carrying mudders. The mud trucks, the trucks that allow you to drive in the mud and go crazy, you're gonna see them in droves.
yeah.
And I've always seen it from being a kid up to now, and it's just like people really go out and play in the mud on the weekends, like especially holiday weekends. They love playing in the mud.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Like it's exciting. It's a
it's
thrill to get hit with big chunks of mud. Now, I will say the only time I was ever and I was kind of excited about it. Have you been to Monster Jam?
no, I haven't.
You got to go to Monster Jam, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of understand it. Like I kind of understand the whole mud thing. Cause Monster Jam, I was like, yeah, bro, hit that. Yeah, mud kicking up behind the truck and stuff. Yeah. Good
Nah,
shit.
bro.
I mean, it's kind of a vibe, right? It's kind of a vibe. All right, let's get into some topics for the night, man. As you know, you and I talk movies all the time. We talk with the boys. You and I have gone to see many movies, and then just talk shit for hours after the movie.
Yeah.
And so my first question to you is: have you seen this movie that everyone is ranting and raving about on Netflix?
Which one?
Leave the World Behind.
Not yet.
Well, to bring you up to speed, Netflix got a movie out right now. It's called Leave the World Behind, and it stars Julia Roberts and Mahershala Ali. And it's essentially one of those like end of the world movies, except the end of the world hasn't happened yet. Essentially, let me give you the skinny version of it. Julia Roberts' family takes a vacation. They're renting Mahershala Ali's house, and suddenly the internet goes out. Mahershala Ali shows up and he's like, "Hey, I live here and I'm the person who y'all are renting the house from. But I'm noticing that like there's something wrong right now. The internet's not working. This is not working. This is not working." And essentially, he works in some he works in some field or line of work where he is kept up to speed with what's going on in the world. And so the whole movie, he's basically just like, "Yeah, this is what I've always been kind of worried about." And I've spoken with friends about this, where it's just like, if somebody wanted to attack the US, like this is how they would do it. And so the whole movie, you're kind of like strung along as they're trying to figure out what's going on and trying to make do and all these kind of things. Everyone's ranting and raving about this movie, bro. And they're essentially saying, huh?
They say like it's great.
Yeah, they're saying it's great. They're saying that the movie is a warning. They're saying that, like, yeah, like everyone needs to get ready and all this kind of stuff. And I had the complete opposite experience watching the movie. So I was hoping you saw it so we could talk about that. But in short, I'm gonna say, and I told Top Dog this too. I'm like, that movie was trash, bro. That movie it was bad. Like
I'll watch it.
That was the worst movie that I ever saw that had really great cinematography, though.
Yeah.
Like the way it was shot and what they were doing with the camera, dope.
Great.
By the end of the movie, though, you're just like, all right, y'all are doing too much. Like now it's just you're overdoing it. Like it's too much. Storyline, whack. Dialogue, whack. All that.
So was it end of the world or the end of the US?
It's a good question. It's more of like the end of the US kind of. It's essentially a movie that is made to trigger you, in my opinion. It's made to trigger you into understanding that right now, you know, there's a war going on, and if it were to happen to us, this is how it would happen to us. And so when people talk about it being a warning, I'm like, a warning to do what? Like, what are you gonna do if the internet goes out? And I had this conversation with Top Dog, and I was like, the average person would sit with their phone continuously trying to get the Wi-Fi to work.
That's
like
it.
You would just keep on pulling down the refresh, just like
that's it.
Crazy, bro.
You can't make no phone calls. You can't do nothing. It's literally your notepad.
Right. So like you wouldn't know the internet was out for everybody. You would think it was just you. Like you'd be like, all right, like let me call Spectrum. Can't call Spectrum. You wouldn't be like, oh no, like this is like, and that's where the movie was unrealistic, is like whenever you have a character that knows everything that's going on, it's like, come on, bro. Like now he's gonna tell you everything about the movie. You know, it just wasn't good.
So, Ma, I just got one sidebar question to that. Is that a possibility? Like, if you take out all the internet, like, could you take it? One, I don't know because it's not. So the way it works, it's not like through one line. It's not like my house is connected to the internet, and then like it's kind of like your your electrical grid. Sometimes I have a
So
sense.
they actually talked about like damn near all of that. Like they actually define all that. First, they mentioned the electrical grid, and they were all like, maybe the electrical grid got attacked. Cool. But then they were like, it doesn't describe why the internet's not working. And they were like, okay, maybe it's this. Then they got into he had a satellite phone, right? So he picks up a satellite phone. He tries to use it. He's like, yo, my satellite phone's not working. And he was like, essentially, in order for a satellite phone to work, that means the satellite is knocked out. So you could do a 2-for-1 from what I'm understanding in this movie, which is you hit the country with an EMP and then you also like knock out a satellite. Or I was watching another video on this. Don't ask me why I'll be watching these videos, but it was one of the late night hosts. He was talking about this and it came up because I was thinking about it, where it's like Elon Musk is giving Starlink, right? Like he has Starlink and he's providing internet. Mark Zuckerberg also has an internet provider thing where it's just satellites flying over, just providing internet.
Right.
If they wanted to, bro, like they're like Elon Musk owns a private company. Like if he wanted to, he could just be like, I'm straight and just turn it off.
That would just be the people on Starlink.
That would be the government, bro, because the government is his number one customer right now. Like, yeah, like
we're not gonna go into that. We're gonna leave it right there.
Yeah, bro. When I saw that, I was like, damn, bro. Like, you know, I'm just an everyday guy. I'm just a guy. I just live in Tampa. I'm just a guy, bro. Like, I'm gonna leave it alone. So yeah.
And the last thing before we go, because I was watching, I got caught into like, you know, court cases are live on YouTube now, and you can watch what happens in court on YouTube.
Yeah.
So when they're using your cell phone to figure out your location, they actually had someone from one of the top cell phone providers, and they say essentially your phone or your device pings to the nearest or the strongest satellite. I mean, or the strongest antenna, which are on the ground to get your signal for that time being. And as you move along, it finds the next one. So like,
yeah.
I don't know what you would do to EMP, like let's just say Verizon's headquarters or Verizon server station. They got thousands of server stations.
Well, the thing about it is like an EMP is electrical. So your phone, the object, whatever you're talking about, it wouldn't even turn on.
Regardless, after the EMP has been used, because everything in it is fried.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. And I'm like, all these movies talking about EMPs, bro. Like, what's going on? Like, you know, it's funny. And I mentioned this. I was watching a TikTok live, and I was actually like having conversation with the creator. And I'm like, did you pick up on the fact that like almost every December, Netflix keeps coming out with these like apocalyptic end of the world, we're all on our own, we got movies. So we have this, Don't Look Up, Bird Box, Awake. Like, bro, Netflix, what are y'all doing? Like, what are y'all trying to what are y'all trying to do right now? Because y'all know that we're all home during the holidays, and you're gonna have people's families watch these
together.
And yo, the conversations around this movie Leave the World Behind. I'm just like, why is everyone immediately going into you need to get ready mode? Like, bro, yeah, it's just like, all right, y'all. Okay, listen, yeah, buy the groceries you need because groceries.
No, don't do that because you know they'll go in the store and buy up all the water. The one that never drinks water a day in their life.
No, let them get the Dasani, bro. Let them get the Dasani. Let them get the Dasani. That's cool.
Making my life hard.
Hey man, make Dasani 2-for-1. You know what I mean? Buy 2 Dasanis, get 1 for free.
Still gonna be there. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. So next up is the big topic, which is Jonathan Majors, bro. I'm mad for him. I'm mad at him and I'm mad for him. Cause I feel like Tyra Banks in that one video from America's Next Top Model, like we were rooting for you, bro. Like legit rooting for this man.
I don't know what to say, bro.
So he got hit with 2 out of 4 charges. And the 2 out of 4 are, I think of the 2, one is a misdemeanor and the other is really not much of anything. But the misdemeanor alone could get him up to a year in prison.
He's not going to do any jail time whatsoever.
I don't think so either. Because someone made a really good point, which is Had this been you or me or Joe Schmo off the streets,
It wouldn't have
this
made it this
would
far.
not be in trial. This would not be a
Wouldn't have
case.
made it that far.
This would not be a case. A couple charges might have been pressed. The police would have been like, y'all stay separate from each other, blah, blah, blah. Like, and so it kind of makes it like, damn. I listened to the recording where he was like, you need to be like Coretta Scott King. Right. And I'm gonna be real. Outside of the fact that on paper, that sounds like a wild thing to say, right? It sounds like a wild thing to say. But also, I didn't really find anything wrong with what he was saying as a whole. He was basically telling her, like, hey, like, we are on a plan right now. Like, we got this good thing going on. Yeah. I need you to kind of get your shit together because you keep getting drunk and you're hanging around with people who, like, they could basically compromise the plan that we're on. Like, we're living in a good house. We got good things going on. I do think a little bit of what he was saying was a little like he was holding himself to a very high standard. And I think that's
so. Just 1 second.
Go ahead.
I feel like he was doing that because if you're looking at a 5 to 10 year plan, and you have Disney that is literally on you, like Disney said, I want to make you for 5 to 10 years the face of our franchise,
bro.
I would like, I can't even, like, those are conversations you gotta have, because it's like, what if you get too drunk one night and you get caught out here doing some stupid stuff? They never gonna say your name.
They're gonna say Jonathan Major's girlfriend,
X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
every
bro.
time.
And you could definitely hear that in what he was saying. He was basically telling her, like, yo, like, I can't believe you. He was basically just like, I can't believe you came home drunk and you're in here making a fuss. And mind you, this is not the night that all that stuff went down. This is like, I don't know what night it was, but I found it interesting that she was recording that conversation.
Almost like he was set up.
Oh, he was 100% set up, bro. 100% set up. 100% set up.
My hard take on that won't be discussed on here.
Yeah, no. But I will say this. I feel like there is a redemption story that is going to give me a little bit of hope when it comes to this Jonathan. And when I say hope, it's just like, I think he was a really good actor. The personal stuff is like, some of it is a little, I haven't read so deep into it, but it just sounds like to me, Buddy gets aggressive and he's six feet plus, right? Like, bro, you got to be careful. And then you added the muscle on you, and now you're playing a villain. Like, you got to be careful. But the story that makes me feel like I wonder if Disney is just doing this for the front is, remember, James Gunn got fired from Disney. James Gunn, like Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn.
Yeah.
James Gunn got fired by Disney because they found old tweets of his that were just like, you know, just talking about, like, they were just weird and bad. And they fired him. And everybody, you know, the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy basically rallied him, was just like, y'all need to hire him back. When he got hired back, they signed him on for more money. Obviously, he started working on Suicide Squad. Like, his career took all the way off after getting back on Disney. Now, granted, there are obvious differences between James Gunn and Jonathan Majors. However, I do think there's a little bit of performative situation going on with, like, bro, you got Robert Downey Jr. on your cast. Like, he's your front guy. Like, the kids may have forgotten who Robert Downey Jr. is, but okay. Jeremy Renner, granted, no charges, but like he allegedly almost killed his wife. Like, whoa.
But I think the biggest thing is the charges.
Yeah.
So
or jail time.
Yeah, once it clears up, he's not getting jail time. They gotta go to court to figure out if he getting jail time. They're gonna lawyer it out. They're gonna talk it out. He's probably gonna get like community service or some stuff.
I think he will do. I think, which is also crazy. This is one thing I kind of caught, right? I haven't heard of a lot of misdemeanors that have up to a year in jail.
Because it's who it is and what and how it happened, bro.
I feel like a lot of misdemeanors are like 60 days. I feel like he's gonna go to jail. Like he's going to do, bro, he's gonna do like 60 or 30 days in jail. Just off of like making an example out of you type stuff.
Nah, they gonna get that transformed into something else.
He gonna come out and they're gonna be like, today Jonathan Majors is coming out of prison.
Or if they send him to jail for that, dog, I'm going to cause an uproar.
Man. Remember, Martha Stewart did jail time.
She did a federal crime.
You're right. Okay, cool. Well, that's a really good point. Okay. But what I'm basically saying are like celebrities
with misdemeanors go home.
I can't think of anybody that I can remember of
exactly
who had a misdemeanor, but we'll see, man. So
most of them go to jail for like hard stuff.
He might
back in jail for hard stuff.
He's a felon. Like that's different. That's different. He was a felon before we knew him, so that's way different.
Oh goodness, man.
But he'll definitely take like some probation. I just hate that whole situation.
Guess what's gonna happen? If he goes to jail, I'm gonna cause a uproar. But 90% of the time, they're gonna make him go to anger management class, and maybe go to a they won't even put him in a halfway house for anger management.
Yeah,
you just gotta go do like 60 hours of anger management courses or some stupid stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh man. So the big question then becomes, you know who the real loser in all of this is? The VFX team. Could you imagine? Just think of the Ant-Man and Quantumania post-credit scene, right? You have hundreds of thousands of Jonathan Majors popping up on screen. And now they're telling you that the dude that you did that for is fired.
It's gone.
You may have to do that again with someone else.
I got a name for you, and I just put it in the chat so you can look it up. Okay. Aaron Jennings. I don't know if you ever watched this TV show called Grand Crew, but when you see him, let me know.
Are you saying he should be the next king? Are you really saying that right now? Nah.
What if? Because the very first time I saw him, I thought it was Jonathan Majors.
Nah, bro. You need. I could kind of see it, but nah. It's got to be hold on, I got to look up this movie. Man,
I don't know how to show it. You can show them in the chat, but that's the only other person that could possibly do it.
Nah, Aldous Hodge. There we go. Aldous Hodge is. I think he may have the skill to recast. He definitely has the build.
He was that bird thing in Black Adam, right?
Yeah, he was Hawkman.
The bird thing.
Yeah. He has the build. I don't know if he has the range. That's the only thing. Because remember, you got to be Victor Timely. You got to be Kang. You got to be He Who Remains. You got to be so many different. I don't know if he has the range, which brings me to the person that I think is the best. Number one person to recast as King the Conqueror.
Who?
John David Washington. Put a little meat on that boy. Hey, I think he has the range to play a badass King the Conqueror.
That would be crazy.
John David Washington.
The only reason why that's a far reach is because you're talking about a guy who, once he got into his prime, if you look at all of his movies, they are not your average movies. They are high level thinking, futuristic.
Bro,
what I'm saying is I don't think he would want to become that type of individual.
Hey man, one of his dad's best roles was when his dad finally played a villain.
Really?
So I feel like it would be, because think about it, Tenet, complicated, like you said, very technical, complicated. I feel like that's what's kind of hard for a lot of people to keep up with in Marvel right now, is like this time travel shit and multiverse shit it's you got to wrap your mind around it really, really well. Like, you know how many times I've tried to describe what's happening in Loki? Like, all right, so hear me out. That's 2012 Loki that he, like, bro, you know what I mean? So yeah, but I think figure wise, Aldous Hodge, but I think acting, well, you got, like, Jonathan Majors did his thing in Quantumania. Like, people talk bad about that movie, but like his range of being like this ambitious, desperate character, man, that boy killed it. So
It's hard to top. That'd be real hard to top.
The other thing is, do you think, and y'all dropping in the comments what you guys think Marvel and Disney should do too? Do you think they should just abandon Kang altogether?
So I before any of these allegations popped up, I went down the rabbit hole and watched like 10 hours worth of the comics explained on the Marvel universe.
Oh my God, you watch those videos?
Yeah. So watching and seeing what Kang does and like did in the comics to create the battle world and to put all these armies together and then have like the Hulk army, the Legion of Thors, like all of this stuff. And it was like revolved around Kang to tell me that this can't happen anymore or it has to be put on the shelf, even though it's technically on the shelf now because it would have, like, the final stuff's not going to come out for another like 2 to 4 years. So it's like, I was ready for it. I was excited for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You can do it with
Doom.
what's the other guy, Doom? But to have Doom, like to have them build up a Kang, then take time to build up a Doom, and then put them together in a cinematic universe. Like, imagine.
Yeah. There's another idea that I saw tossed around online, which was the idea of making Doctor Doom a Kang variant. But that sounds so easy to do. Oh, just make him a Kang variant. But like, he has to be from Latvia. Like, if he's not from Eastern Europe, it's not Doctor Doom. Like, his name is Victor Von Doom, bro. Like, so you're gonna
work.
It wouldn't, you would change him completely from what he is from the comics. And I feel like now you're gonna have a black Doctor Doom. Like, that's kind of
already talking about a black Captain Marvel. Now you're talking about a black Captain Doom.
It would just be so, it would be all over the place, bro. So
it would be too much revolt. They would burn down Marvel before
the fans are already mad. Now, what you could do is you can make it where Doctor Doom is just a variant of a guy, right? He's a Victor Von Doom variant. He has the technology. He sees all the stuff that's happening with the multiverse, and he just takes advantage of the situation and he pops up.
I like that.
That's the best, because in the comics he was that kind of guy. Like, he already was on some stuff like that. Or his world.
One movie where he kind of like learns himself, and then he kind of like at the end of it, he kind of like boom, where he disappears into infinity.
Yeah.
And then go into all of our stuff, and when it's the perfect time for him to pop back in, like, I've been watching this like the whole time, like the Watcher.
Yeah. I actually think there's another way that they could do it too, where he's from a universe that had an incursion, and the incursion happened because, I don't know, like, there's 14 million, what was it, 14,605 outcomes that could have happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have the idea that they were playing with time and all that. Like, they can basically play with that concept. Like, Captain America went back in time and then showed up again as an old man. Like, you can play with a lot of that and figure that out. Like, just pay your actors, pay your writers, and you'll be good.
The only thing I'm with and I'm tired of at this point is no more flashbacks. Like they flashback me out. They flashback me out, bro, because
Of,
it's like
of what movie?
every movie is just like I feel like they just going back and changing something. Especially like in game.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like,
Like
yeah.
if you
Well,
have to do any of that, it has to be that person's coming in and causing literally an incursion.
yeah.
Like after he enters the room, nothing else is the same.
Yeah. I think it worked for Endgame because of the fact that it was like, okay, we're going to take you back to the 22, 21 movies that came before this. We're taking you back to those moments. And it was they were selling us nostalgia.
That was easy
Um
to do,
Easy to do.
in my opinion.
Very easy to do, but also it worked. It was like, oh snap, they went back to 2012. Wow, what could they do differently, right? But I think now, like you said, like the only flashback that I think mattered the most is Rocket's flashback in Guardians of the Galaxy. And I feel like it wasn't emphasized enough, maybe because it was a show. Wanda's flashback in WandaVision, where you saw how she got her powers. And the fact that like she didn't even get her powers. She always had powers. Like always. The Mind Stone just kind of activated them. Outside of that, I'm glad we didn't get any more Uncle Ben's dying. Like we don't need that anymore. We've gone through it enough. Wait. Did Uncle Ben die in Amazing Spider-Man?
That's the live action one, right?
Yeah, that's the one with Andrew Garfield.
I think each one of them saw their grand uncle die.
Who played Uncle Ben? Oh God, yeah, he did die. He definitely died. Yeah, okay. Cliff. No, that's not Cliff. What's this guy's name? I don't remember his name. Oh, Sheen. Martin Sheen played his. Yeah. Okay, I do remember. Yeah, I had to remember. Like, I know for sure we had to do it twice, and everyone was like, "Hey, bro, we get it, we get it." Like his uncle died. But yeah, what was I going at with that? I forgot what. Yeah, we don't need any more flashbacks unless it like really, really builds the character and the understanding and all that. By the way, season 2 of What If drops this Friday. And one episode is gonna drop every single day until the season is done. Yeah.
What? They gonna throw it like that for the end of the year? Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. And I'm glad they're doing that because right after that's done, I will be canceling my Disney Plus. Thank you, Marvel. Bro, the price is ridiculous now, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, it's shits were crazy.
$24 a month?
Ooh.
Nah, bro. Like I can't
They're trying to make you bundle it now. Ain't
I
everything
already have the bundle, bro. I have the Disney and Hulu. Like I have that. Like I have that already. And it went from 70 a month. No, it went from $59.99. My first year, when my first year was up, I paid 70. I was like, all right, cool. It went up $10. And then I broke it off from the yearly and I just started doing monthly. So I was paying $8.99. Then it went to $13.99. And so it's going from $13.99, bro, to $24. That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't watch anything. I don't watch anything on there but the one show
Disney,
they have for
Marvel.
Yeah. So after What If, I'm done. Might record them. I don't know. I gotta figure this stuff out. I might want to watch it again. Like
The things was crazy though, and like I do appreciate Marvel for doing that because you can only do so much in live action.
right.
But you can let your mind go crazy when you can make everything cartoon. Like that zombie episode was amazing. The fact that when what you call it start killing all the dang superheroes, amazing with the like I forgot who killed all the superheroes. Who was that?
Ultron?
No, I think it was
You talking about the zombie episode?
no, she got small. She can't start. I think it was the Wasp.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. So Wasp went small and started killing all the zombies. Yeah, like the
No,
VFX
the
for that.
superheroes. Remember? Remember when the Hulk died? Remember
Wait,
when Iron Man died? You forgot that episode, huh?
it's the zombie episode though. You're talking about. Now I gotta look
That
it up.
is the zombie. Yeah. Yeah, that is the zombie episode because there was nobody to stop them from. Yeah. No, is that it? There was another episode where the Hulk died. He didn't become a zombie, he died.
Yeah, that's the zombie. That's the zombie episode. He like sacrificed himself, and the only people left was like Black Widow and I think Spider-Man and that episode was good because of the fact that honestly, like the
No, it was
heroes
what if
died.
yeah, what if Ant-Man kills the Hulk? Ant-Man killed them.
Wait, what? What episode was that?
Yes. Episode 3.
No, it's called "What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes." Nick Fury struggles to launch the Avengers when candidates are targeted. Oh yeah. Okay, wow, I do remember this. Wait, who becomes the standout hero from this episode?
It was I done forgot.
Ant-Man. Wow,
But
yeah, this episode definitely was underwhelming because I don't remember it at all, bro. I don't remember at all. The best one is what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hand? You could never do that as a movie. Never, bro. No,
never, because the amount of monsters that you would have to create in CGI that we've never ever seen before, ever.
Yeah,
man. And then you have to CGI them getting cut and being killed. Yeah,
I don't even think it's that. I think there's something about people watching live action where they get upset when their favorite characters die. And I feel like with that Doctor Strange, number one, you would have to have Doctor Strange fight Doctor Strange. Like the CGI bill on that episode alone would be insane. There's too much magic going on. There's too many random places, meeting with the Watcher, all that kind of stuff. But like, there's something about people watching their characters die in real like live action movies where it's just like they freak out. So it hurts. Like that's why people don't like I Am Legend. You know what I mean? Like, because like I don't know, but that is definitely, in my opinion, the best episode. And then obviously to tie it all back together, the Ultron episode is just comic book. Just God. Show me everything that could possibly happen.
Yeah, so we got 7 days until that craziness. We have 7 days until the crazy. Oh, not you said this Friday?
No, we have 2. We have 2 days. This is happening in 48 hours. We'll be watching maybe 9 o'clock, but like 48 hours. We're watching season 2, and the episodes. I will admit they don't seem as exciting.
Because they opened the door. They've already introduced us to some craziness.
Yeah, but I mean, to be real, I'm saying that it doesn't seem that exciting, but the reality is, bro, season 1, just by the names, they did not seem exciting either. And
we didn't expect.
I mean, the first episode was whack. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm not a big. I don't care for Peggy Carter. The world seems to like they really want.
Yeah, she was alright.
They really want the Captain Marvel thing. I mean, the Captain Carter thing to be a thing, but I don't. I'm trying to find it real quick. There's a place where you can find it. Yeah. I was glad she kind of met a quick end in Multiverse of Madness. But yeah, so I was gonna go through the brackets for movie of the year, but we're gonna bypass that real quick. Because that's a whole situation and we've already gotten through some things. But let's get into some questions, man. Obviously you're here with us on VividLife TV, and I want to kind of get some perspective from you when it comes to your career as a DJ, and just obviously use this as a moment to give you the platform and give you the stage. But I got some questions for you, man. So first things first, it's interesting because you did not choose the DJ life. DJ life chose you. I always say that because I remember when people started inquiring on, hey, how DJ BrightLight to DJ our event, and I remember trying to come up with answers for that and just being like, hey, bro, you need to figure out an answer by Monday. But when it comes to that, man, when it comes to that, what was that like at first? Like, what was it like, one, seeing the demand for you being a DJ, and what was it like kind of just, feeling that feeling of people wanting you to be part of their events? What did it feel like at first?
Um, it felt, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it because it almost didn't feel like anything. I mean, because it was kind of like already out and about.
Yeah.
So for me, getting the inquiries was weird because I didn't feel like I think I said this multiple times before though. I didn't feel like I was doing something that was like, oh, you're like DJing like crazy. Like I wasn't scratching, I wasn't mixing, I wasn't doing anything that was like stand out.
Yeah.
So it always just like caught me off guard. But then when I started and then I started doing it and for Bulls Radio for the school, just the different events that I would do. So like I tell people all the time, like I'm a referral based DJ because like when I started DJing, every event I did on campus, I did event. I got referred because of that event off
Yeah.
campus. So it's just like, man, like it's like that. Like every time I set up on campus, I'm DJing off campus too. So the referral just grew and grew into different things and more and different things to where we're at now. We're like doing different things, man. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
And
I
when it
was funny enough when I was at USF at the Sundome DJing a concert for a company. Like I had the kids zone. Like they had a concert going on in like the main area, and then where the volleyball team has their games at, they had like
yeah.
a kids zone with a bunch of blow up bounce houses and stuff. And that was my area to DJ. And I'm like, man, look at me back on campus DJing here where I
Yeah.
started.
Yeah. So when you got started, speaking of getting started and just being like thrown into the fire, how did you get your footing in that? Because like that's not easy, bro. Like being tossed into the DJing and being like, all right, I know what song I want to play, but I don't do all that other stuff. Like how did you kind of get your footing in it? How did you get comfortable kind of in that new space?
I learned early that it's not about me. It's about the music and about the vibe that's set in like the space.
Hmm.
So fortunately for me, like most people when they start DJing, it's because of I seen somebody doing it this place or here. I want to do that there. So
Yeah.
they kind of groom themselves and develop and play to that style, like
Yeah.
club DJ, concert DJ, wedding DJ, and they've learned it that way. I got the privilege of being literally thrown into the fire. Like just say, hey, this organization needs a DJ for this event when I was at Bulls Radio. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't know anything until I walked in the room. And they would be like, hey, we just want some music. You got any requests? And it like, no, we just want some music. So I would have to play around in genres to figure out what type of music they want.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best like abilities to have as a DJ to understand what the crowd is. Because if you're playing music that you want to hear and the crowd's not feeling
Yeah,
it, they're gonna you're
you're
not
gonna
gonna
lose
get
it.
any reaction. And if you're not able to know that there's different styles of music that you can reach and get to, you're not going to be able to reach them. So I developed a technique to figure out crowds very early, and almost every time during those sets, I would play it. So I would play a mixture of every genre to see what got the best reaction, and then
Yeah,
go from there. And
yeah.
that's how I really got started.
Okay, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I was going to go into, you brand yourself as an open format DJ, and it sounds like you're basically talking about what the value is in that, and being able to like tap into what the audience and what the crowd wants to hear. What kind of challenge do you see, and what challenges have you ran into in terms of like trying that out? Like, has there ever been a failed attempt? Is that normal? What's your experience with that?
Believe it or not, like adding new music, like up to date music, is a challenge.
Yeah, I can see that.
Trying to get people to get out of the usuals is hard. And I had to learn a couple years ago that sometimes people don't listen to music on a daily basis. Like people don't, when they hop in their car, they don't turn to their favorite radio station and start driving. Some people listen to people talk all
Yeah,
day,
yeah,
all day
crazy,
in the
crazy.
car, at work, when they get home, sometimes even in their sleep. So a lot of people don't have a wide variety of music. And it's funny, another situation considered like a lot of like people that throw events, they always want to tell you what type of music they want to hear. And when you start to play it, and then the people start asking you for other genres, and then this is almost like, hey, this is what they want. But then I started to learn you got to break stuff down to them. Also, the event planners, sometimes expectations be up here,
Yeah,
above the roof, and
yeah,
reality, like the people that you are getting to come to the event, this is their max.
yeah.
This is what they came for.
I feel like that happens a lot at weddings. Like weddings are like, yo, my family be cutting up, man. Like, you gonna play this and they gonna get
They
lit.
gonna be on the dance floor all night doing everything.
Man, as soon as the first dance with the groom's mom, as soon as all of that's done, all right, let me get my platter. And it's like
You
five people.
know already.
Yeah.
All right, man.
I,
I'm gonna
I feel
holler
like
at
I've
you.
definitely had like 2 or 3 weddings where that was the case. But you
And
mentioned,
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
No, no, but it's the emphasis on I'm gonna have these people doing this. It's gonna be this going on. I'm gonna need you to make sure we dancing from the moment dinner's over with until it's time to go. And
Yeah,
then you have half the party cutting up, but then you look out and the bride is over there taking a whole bunch of photos with everybody. The groom is hanging out with his boys because his boys don't dance, his boys don't do nothing but chill out
right,
at the bar. So
right.
now you just have the crew, the party crew that came to party,
And a couple kids on the dance floor doing
and a
weird
couple kids.
kids dances. Just kids stuff.
But they told you they was gonna be on the dance floor. I have another situation where it's like, yeah, we gonna be cutting up all night, and but my husband he's not a big dancer, so like you're gonna probably get him to do like one dance in the beginning, but then he's gonna be hanging out. So she calls me the next day and like, I ain't never seen my husband dance like this ever.
Right.
Like you had him cutting up the whole night. I'm like, I thought you said he don't do none of that. It's like, yeah, I thought he didn't do it either. So it's like you get a lot of different experiences and different expectations, but realities is could
Yeah.
be completely different or it could be lower. So like, you're absolutely.
So earlier you mentioned like basically music restrictions, right? And both of us know very well from experience of like 90s R&B, for example, is like the big jam. Everyone's doing 90s R&B parties. I mean, from coast to coast, top to bottom, every city that I go to, people are doing 90s R&B. And you mentioned that people also don't listen to music as often. I'm always shocked when I see people's Spotify rap and they have like 9,000 minutes of like music. I'm like, you don't listen to music. So what's the long-term effect do you think that'll have on people when it comes to both like appreciation of music and then also appreciation of vibes at events? Do you think people will be just stuck in this 90s R&B thing forever, or what do you think's what's the outcome?
So I think 90s R&B went from like a era to a genre, to be honest.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's crazy because if you listen to the music nowadays, it's horrid. But you have a lot of artists they're starting to like implement the rhythms or the
The
beats or
samples.
samples or even lyrics nowadays. They're just bringing back some lyrics and making them whole songs and doing things of that nature. So,
Yeah.
and 90s R&B went from a time in music to a genre where like people be like, I want a 90s R&B vibe. Or I want my wedding to be 90s R&B vibe. I want that to be everything from the party to the cocktail hour to the, so it's like, that's like a range of music, right? That's like 90s R&B, 90s hip hop. No, I want 90s vibe. And it's like, okay, you hear that more and more. You rarely hear somebody like play today's music. They'd be like play today's hits, but like dudes like the 90s vibe. Even
Yeah.
like a baby shower, be like, yeah, we want the 90s vibe with the
That's so
Haitian music
crazy.
and this music. It's like, oh, what happened to like you want another? Nah. Maybe just one artist from today's day, but a lot of people like, yeah, we want that 90s. And a side note, I think it's safe to say that with our partnership with the Love Jones, the Full Moon branding, we brought the R&B vibe or the R&B culture back to Tampa. I
Yeah.
can safely say that we
Yeah.
pioneered that.
Yeah. 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 For sure.
Before there, even when Blue Martini were doing their like sexy Sundays, it wasn't R&B. It was just dress up and we gonna rock out.
Yeah, I feel like the 90s, that's so crazy. Like you really nailed it on the head. It's like it went from just like, oh, I want to listen to music from this era to now it's like a whole genre of like, yeah, I want that 90s R&B vibe. It's insane. But I also feel like it needs better definition, right? Because you go to any 90s R&B event, you know what songs you're going to hear. Like I think I wouldn't have too much of an issue with the 90s thing, and my issue mainly stems from like Love Jones, to be honest with you. Like if whenever y'all tune into this, or if you're tuned in right now and you're like checking this out, like my issue with the 90s R&B thing came from the fact that like I went from hosting a 90s R&B event to like going out in Tampa and hearing other DJs play the same songs we're playing at Love Jones. And in every event that I've gone to since, it's like, oh, okay, this is like, it's the same music everywhere. It's the same, which means that like now as a DJ, it's almost like you got to break records, but you got to break
Old
records that
records.
already were broken. Like
Exactly.
you just got to play the album cut from a random 90s album that everyone knows and kind of just roll the dice and say like they might like this, they might appreciate this. But it's like you go to a 90s R&B event and you're going to hear Can We Talk? You're going to hear Keisha Cole Love. Like you're going to hear the 90s was 10 years and everyone is playing the same 14 songs. It's crazy.
Same. And
It's
those aren't
crazy.
even like the classics of the time. And
Yeah.
as I dug into it and like listened to more and more 90s, it's definitely an era that I feel like needs to be cherished because 2010s tried, 2000s was its own era, and we don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
2010, they didn't have an era, they didn't have an identity. So it was
I kind of disagree. I kind of disagree. I think the 2010s the 2010s definitely had a sound, bro. Like it had, like I feel like in 10 to 15 years, people might be like, yo, can you play that? I want that 2010s vibe.
I agree, but it was a copy of the 90s.
Nah, not yet. Not yet. So here's another thing too that I've also realized. You've heard that like I like 8701 better than I like Confessions. And that is a extremely unpopular opinion, bro. Like I'm probably the only person on the earth that would dare say that out loud. And I'm gonna tell you why I feel like people like Confessions more than they like 8701. And it really boils down to one thing and one thing only. All right, here it goes. Confessions came out when you were in high school. 8701 came out when you were what, in 6th grade, right? The time of when songs came out matters to how people appreciate it. And it's so crazy because I can go to a party. We can go to a party, right? You and I, you DJing, I'm hosting. And I promise you, you can play a whole bunch of early 2010s music and the crowd's going to go fucking nuts. Ah, oh my God. Yes. They're going to go nuts, right? And the reason why is because that music almost automatically takes you back to that place. It takes you back to college and you're going to enjoy it. The reason why people can't vibe to Lil Uzi and all the music now is because it doesn't take them back nowhere. It's going to take you back to like, it takes you nowhere. Like there's no magic to it. There's no imagination. So it's just like the nostalgia takes you back. And even for people our age wasn't doing nothing in the 90s, man. We were 6 years old, you know what I mean? But I think it goes back to this idea of like things were better. You know, there wasn't a 9/11. We weren't at war. Like Bill Clinton was our president. Like all of these like really good things. I think it has nothing to do with the music because realistically, you got Ari Lennox these days. You have artists who, without having to make all of this callback, they're doing dope music.
I'm gonna argue though.
Okay.
When R&B died, what year would you say it died?
Oh, I can tell you. It whatever year 50 Cent, Timbaland, and Justin Timberlake made that song Ayo Technology. Because what was that, bro? What like was
like that was like 2010, 2011 then.
Nah, Ayo Technology came out. Hold on.
Because what we have now are people that are digging themselves out of the dirt from 7 feet under, 9 feet under, however deep you are when you get buried, and able to have their hands like literally like what part of my hand isn't showing is the careers of the R&B right now, and there's like a bunch of those hands sticking out the dirt. It's dead, but we have a few.
I think R&B died when the formula became.
That didn't come out in 07?
Hey man, listen, I just Googled it. I'm just telling you, Ayo Technology came out in 2007. I feel like R&B died when they tried to make a formula that had to always involve a rapper on the verse and an R&B person on the hook.
Yes.
Like when that became the thing that everyone wanted to do, it was like, yeah, like the only way you're going to appreciate. Think about how many, and I know he's like a dirtbag and no one likes him anymore, but Trey Songz was dropping albums and mixtapes. No one cared about those as much as they did about his hooks. T-Pain, no one really cared until he was on a hook. Akon, no one really cared until he was on a hook. Even like
they kind of got pushed out as well.
Yeah, like it just wasn't the same. So I think that's what killed R&B. And then also people stopped making ballads. I like 8701 because it has R&B ballads. Confessions has radio jams. There's nothing wrong with that.
What if the quality talent level of singing went down? Or
it did. Remember when R&B artists used to come from church? And he was like, yeah, I used to sing about church. You don't hear that no more. Like Rod Wave, I don't know what church that was.
But to be honest with you, there's a new genre coming out. Like most of the hip hop is not hip hop anymore. They're singing.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what that's about. I
And
I don't know. It to me, it's like
what's up, stationary?
it's I don't know, man. I was also gonna say R&B died when Future got nominated for an R&B award for "Turn Off the Lights." I remember that night. I remember that night. I sure do.
That's tough.
I remember that. I mean, if you think about it, the 2010s, everyone was going to do those EDM tracks and
It was switching it up because R&B was dying. Hip hop was only dominated by a select few, and you had to do your mixtape game. A lot of people wasted a lot of good stuff on mixtapes.
and I also think the one thing I will agree with you on is that in the early 2010s, like I just think about how many tracks and hits like Lex Luger had on the
Yeah,
radio. Like there was a trying to get the trap sound back into the swing
like
of everything, and
that sound is never coming back.
it doesn't
Like I
need to.
said,
It's okay. It doesn't need to. Like that sound that we don't need it at that. Like, listen, I love Watch the Throne, but the one song on that album that I'm just like, this song is doing a lot is Ham. Like that song is
yeah,
just loud, a lot of brass, and hey man, it's cool.
but
We don't need that.
that's when Jeezy was dropping the orchestras and then talking trap. But it was classics. Like I can't play that now. I love that music, but I can't play that.
What song? What song exactly?
Like like any Jeezy that came out in the 2000s, like when he had what you talking about, living my life. He had cinematic
2000s or 2010s?
like late 2000s, early 2010s.
Okay, because I was gonna say you play Thug Motivation at any party. I feel like it's
You can
gonna
do that. That's
it's gonna go
different.
it's gonna go up. It's gonna go up. So I mean, all in all, I go back to what I was saying earlier, which is like I feel as though music now doesn't take anybody anywhere. Like there are songs. Somebody told me
It
something
takes
that
you
was
to the bedroom. If you're not talking about going to the bedroom, it's not a hit.
it takes you to the club floor, is what I feel like. Somebody made a really good point. They were like, the music nowadays is only cool because like you recognize it as like a song from the club. And so like you hear it and you're like, oh, if I'm drunk and I hear that song, I'm gonna get hyped to it. Like Lil Uzi Vert, what's that song called? I Just Want to Rock. Play that song for a group of people that are sober. And they're like, haha. Play that for a group of people who are on their fifth drink, their 11th mimosa, and they're gonna be like, ah.
They ain't never did it a day in their life.
We have been
But
playing Dreams and Nightmares at the end of every club since 2011.
make it stop. I hate that request because
So
it
yeah,
throws off everything. You can't mix into it, and it's not that good.
I
You mean
mean,
to tell me
I,
for
I,
like
I,
a whole minute you want to sit there and rap and then turn up?
you know what's crazy? I learned the lyrics of that song over the course of 11 years in the club.
Just going out.
When that song came out, I did not know the lyrics. All I knew was I ain't say a word. I ain't say a word. All right, cool. That's now I don't say a word, right?
Right.
Now the verse starts and I can rap it because every single club night ends with that. So
It gets to the point where it's like, I used to run like this, to shine like this, in a matter of time. Like I don't even want to rap it, but because it's on, I gotta
I,
act like I want to
I ain't gonna
be
lie to
all
you.
into it.
If I'm lit, I'm a vibe too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit on this live and not act like Dreams and Nightmare. I'm not gonna be
Nah,
taking my locks and just I will.
there's only one song that get me like that. It's Jeezy Corporate Thuggin'.
Corporate
I'm on my
thugging.
way to bed, but wanted to boogie it. Appreciate you for stopping by, stationary. Definitely
Corporate
appreciate it.
thugging. Yeah, we
Corporate
appreciate
Thuggin'.
you dropping it. Yeah, corporate thug. You know what? I'm thinking, what is the other song off of Thug Motivation 101? Honestly, anything off Thug Motivation 101 would get me hyped. And I also feel like we should play more Ti in the club as well, like Trap King, Legend.
Yes, yes,
Like
but T.I. likes to be more in the social medias than in the
I don't care
clubs.
what he doing. I don't care. I just want to hear his music from that era. Which actually takes me this piece of conversation takes me to my next question with this. It's like when it comes to being a DJ, how much of it goes into this like innovation? Like, what is the one thing you do continuously all the time as a DJ to make sure that you stand out and your craft and your brand stands out in obviously what is now very much an oversaturated market in terms of what people are hearing?
It may sound like underrated or cliche, but just from my experience from doing this, like customer service, like
Mm.
if someone reaches out to you for an event and you got to be, I'm not gonna say necessarily timely, but and if you're not timely, you have to like let the person know the reasons why. So I'll give you an example. If someone hits me up on a Friday night to ask me about an event, I might get back to them right away. If I'm DJing, I might get back to them right away. But if I'm busy, I might wait till later on that day and send them a whole message explaining, "Hey, I'm about to be busy. I have your invoice or your inquiry. I'm either available or not available, and because I'm normally busy on the weekends, I may not get back to you until Monday. And then on Monday we can handle this entire situation if it's something that's far out. If it's day
Yeah,
of
yeah,
a week, all right. So it's about making sure that the customer or whoever the person that's wanting to book you knows that you're one available for them and you're trying to make sure the event or whatever goes smoothly. And then
yeah,
once the event goes on, it's about your it's a show. It really is a show. Like you
yeah,
may not have the energy or the mindset to want to do this, but you've already paid. You already booked you. You signed up for it, and it's your name. You don't want to just be like, "I'm not feeling good today. Forget this event." But you got to go in, put on a show, entertain the guests, play the right music.
yeah.
Sometimes even like I was so bad at this. I would not talk during any of my DJ sets, whether I got
You did not, bro.
whether I got booked personally or somebody referred me. I go in there, DJ, give them a very good set, but I wouldn't say nothing unless the person was like, make this announcement real quick. All right, da, 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 da. Then I watched other DJs interact, talk to the crowd, talk to the people who are there, talk to the bridegroom, just talk. Even
Yeah,
if it's just picking on somebody or picking on yourself, a voice being heard gives so much more clearer direction. And like
yeah,
even now today with corporate events, like I may say the same thing over and over, but I say it and you can see the reaction. Hey guys, welcome in. We do have a photo booth. We got two photo booths actually, a 360 booth. We got two bars as well. One in the front, one in the back. Make sure you guys, before you leave, make sure you take a photo from at least one of the photo booths, like simple stuff like that.
yeah.
Got you get one lets the person that booked you know, hey, he trying to work for this money, even
Right, right,
though
right.
it should just be kind of like second nature. And then two, the people there know that it's just not like I learned this as well. People come to events and just are clueless sometimes until they get direction.
Yeah,
Like they just don't know what to do, even though the food could be sitting right there, a sign-in sheet with the big sign that says "sign in" right there,
yeah,
a lottery raffle ticket thing is right. They won't touch it
yeah,
until you give them direction to it.
yeah,
And once you figure that out and learn that, it's literally like a walk in the park. Like I don't I the job I do now is like night and day from what I used to do.
yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm thinking about like the hardest part of events for me is the first thing you say. Like it's literally an icebreaker, bro. It's like And the reason why it's the hardest thing you say is because, like, usually, let's say, I'm trying to think of where I was recently. I was hosting an event and everyone was sitting down, right? And I'm like holding the mic and I'm like, all right. And I usually look around because, like you said, I'm looking for someone to make eye contact with me, or I'm looking for someone to engage with, make fun of, pick on, whatever. And as soon as you say something, everyone's heads turn because they're looking for who's talking. It's like, there's a host here? I didn't know there was going to be a host here. Like, what the? And then they, and at that point, like you mentioned, it's like whatever you say is like golden, right? Like I remember this is a bad example, but I feel like I'm gonna give a bad example and a good example. But do you remember just to even it out, balance it out? Do you remember the one night of like Love Jones? This was back in Foundation, and we started to hit the capacity, and something along the lines of like the fire marshal showed up, right? Mm-hmm. And it was just like, shoot, yo, the fire marshal, and everyone's just like, what are we gonna do? And I was like, hey, if you parked across the street, move your car. The tow truck is coming. If you parked across the street, and it's like, I don't even think everyone was parked across the street, but everyone was just like, let me go check on my car real quick because I've inception, bro. Like this idea is now in my mind. You know what I mean? So it's like that is just golden. Like it's golden rule, whatever we say. And then the other side of it is just like when we did a wedding at the Museum of Art in St. Pete. Do you remember that one? Yeah. And it's like the bartenders ended up loving us because we were just like, hey, like, make sure you go to the bar. Make sure you tip your bartender. The drink that the bartenders are serving is this. Go to the bar and ask for it. And they were like, hey, y'all want something to drink? Like, hey. You know what I'm saying? So it's I'm glad you got that because I remember being kind of like, bro, Paul, you're DJing and you're not saying that. Like, bro, say something to these people. It's just quiet. And I feel like, when we coined the phrase vibe conductor, it was like kind of us saying like, yeah, bro, like we control the whole space. We control all of this. A lot of people, it's just crazy how many people forget about the experience part of events. Like, great, you put on an event and people have showed up to your event. We are 15 minutes into your event. What should they expect now that they're here? Like, oh, okay, cool. You didn't think about that. Okay, well, that's where your host comes in, or that's where your DJ comes in. So glad you mentioned.
And I've definitely got into the habit of like asking the event person like what do you expect from me today? And I'm not gonna lie, I make sure that it's just DJing. And if they need an MC, then I add a little bit more and say, hey, I have no problem doing it, but this is the price because they like to come up to you and be like, here's a list of things we need you to talk about over the entire day. Bro, you said you just needed a DJ.
And I don't think people realize how hard it is to DJ because DJing it's eyes, ears, it's hands. There's a lot going on to like constantly look and okay, I got to do that. Like you're up there low key kind of being a circus. Like
and then you got people walking up to you doing this. Oh, can you play this? Oh, hey, can you do this? And then the person be like, oh, I didn't hear the announcements. I literally just said 3 of these things as you were walking up. How did you not hear it?
I think it's funny because obviously you started DJing and then you started emceeing. I started emceeing and then I started DJing. And I remember one of the first events I was DJing and I was like, bruh, I can't do all of this at the same time. Like I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, yo, I got a mic in my hand. I'm trying to use the crossfader. I also want to get to where I'm going. And now someone is asking me a question. Like, oh, nah, fam. Like, and I realized at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to really figure out how to get good at this because me DJing and hosting was not the same energy as me just hosting. It's like me just hosting. I'm up there dancing. Hey, me DJing, I'm like, just stuck in the moment, like, yo, oh my God, way too much. But yeah, like, so when it comes to earlier, we talked about like the collaborations, the groups that you have worked with, the groups you've worked with. But who's like someone that you would say dropped the gem on you in terms of like events, advice, being a DJ, being an entertainer, or someone who dropped the gem on you about it, or someone who you kind of looked at and was like, oh, I could probably emulate some of that and take some of it for my own craft.
I think the biggest person that I still look up to and like try to replicate his style is DJ Ron Mike. You may know him.
Yeah.
So he's the CEO with the leader of You and Me DJs who I work with. When you see me doing like homecomings and school events, 99% of them are through him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and so, and we both went to USF together. I don't think we really met each other while at USF, but
Yeah.
we kind of connected afterwards. But so he is literally like, I can't even describe it because if you fathom his network and the amount of stuff that he is constantly dealing with on a daily basis. So he works with schools, let's just say 50 schools in Hillsborough County, and then 20 schools in Miami-Dade and Broward County, and then let's just say 20 other schools outside of that he works with on a 2 times a year, almost all year round. He has a conglomerate of over 14 DJs that he works with to make sure all of these events get taken care of, as
Yeah.
well as a family, as well as his own personal stuff. And it's just like, how do you manage that? So it's like, I'll give you an example. Every year, twice a year, no, I say every year, 4 to 6 times a year, we have a weekend where one day there's 10 plus events going on all at the same time. Yes. So you have to organize with 10 different schools. Each school has an advisor that you talk to. The advisor also has a student that's a liaison for the event that also want to talk to Ron. Then you have to talk to the DJs to see who can handle which school. He also has dancers, and he has to put like the environment. So he has pipe and drapes, he has lights, he has props, everything. He has to put all of this together and then send a crew out to do each school and make sure they all get done on one night. So imagine if one school gets there late and they're calling like, "Hey, where the people at to set up?" Mind you, they're on the way, but we don't know that yet. So he has to call the people like so like, and that's just one school. Imagine if two schools do this. Imagine if
Man.
two schools in two different cities are late. So it's just like you like to be able to process that, still be sane, still have a
Yeah.
life, still be able to laugh, still be able to joke and still put the stuff together. Yeah, your mental has to be on a
On
level.
point. I was gonna
On
say that because like when you meet Ron, he's like you would
you don't
I would
you don't
I would
see that.
never know that. Like
You would never
none of
see that if you talk to him.
yeah, he's
But
like he's
but
chilling.
I've been in situations, environments, like for example, I'll go do DJ an event where every student government comes and they meet and have meetings together with schools. He has to then meet with all the teachers there. I have to entertain the students while he's entertaining the actual people that are gonna book us to do it. So it's like
Yeah,
working together and seeing that work is so for me, it's like I'll go be above and beyond for him because I only see a tip of what he does.
yeah,
So to know somebody can handle all of that as well as manage all of these people, they all got to get paid.
right. The
All
books
of this
gotta
money
get
has to come
handled,
in
the
and come out.
equipment gotta get handled. That's
Like,
nuts, bro. Like
bro,
it's funny you say that because I've actually hosted a wedding with Ron before, and he is extremely as an entertainer, high energy, really good on the mic, really good on the ones and twos. He is the first and only person that I have seen. Just to give you an idea, bro, it was a Sigma wedding. It was Jean Baptiste's wedding.
Okay.
And computer game, like obviously it's time for them to play computer games. And I remember he played it, and I was standing there with the mic, you know, kind of hyping it up a little bit. And I turned like, "Hey, bro," and I'm like, "Where is Ron? like, where is?" And I look, and he's doing computer games, right?
Yeah.
And not even on some, I mean, you can time these things very well, especially for him. He's probably heard computer games thousands of times.
Yeah.
But the way he came back and dropped into the next song, I was like, bro, do you have a controller? Like, are you controlling the music? Like, he just, like you said, he has a handle on everything, including like not just from a business standpoint, but as an entertainer. And it was just like, damn, bro, like you really are, one, you're fast. I don't know how old you are, but you run really fast.
I didn't mention he's also a flag football girls coach.
He is.
He coaches girls as well. So like all of this stuff, and as well, like you gotta understand.
And staying on top of the music.
And staying, we have to. It's like dealing with kids. They don't want music.
They don't want 90s R&B. They don't care about 90s R&B.
They don't want that.
Yeah.
They want songs that came out 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
If you doing a party on Saturday and an album came out on Friday, you better have every song, and it better be clean.
And it better be fast. It better sound like the TikTok version where it's fast. Yeah, so, bro.
Like, bro.
It's funny because that's actually why that's why I don't think I can do the young people stuff. Like I could do everything else, but the young people, nah, bro. That's you got that in your bag, bro. You got that. But yeah, that's dope though. Like Ron, I would say for me, Silencer. And it's funny because those two guys work so close together. For me, it's always Silencer. Like Silencer does, his hosting game is like
elite,
spectacular. Yeah, elite, bro.
You want to know why his name is Silencer? He was worse than me. He didn't want to talk.
You know what? We talked about that one time. I forgot how it came up, but he was like, "Yeah, man. When I was DJing them jerk up parties back in the day, he was like, I wouldn't say."
If you mention, if you think about it, he didn't say a word when it was in there.
Never.
It was just music, darkness, and vibrations,
and ass. Somebody's daughter whining on
you. It was like a haunted house, but they was throwing ass at you.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, but the reality is, and even for me, like I think about this sometimes, it's like, you know me, bro. You know me long enough to know that like I could be jumping off the walls, Alex, and then I could just be like, chill, like I ain't got nothing going on right now. Like when people see me out, I'm always just like, I'm not working here, bro. Let me get a salmon and a drink and whatever. So like that party didn't need that. We didn't need a host on the mic. We didn't need anybody. We didn't need why.
Yeah,
we didn't need that, bro. We had all of that without someone on. Like all he needed to do, I think it was like as you get older, when you eliminate the darkness in the dance floor, that's where
directions needed again.
Directions needed. You know, I'm 25 years old. I'm in my career now. I got a cold start. You know what I mean? I need somebody to help me.
Give me right.
Yeah, start giving me the move.
I need the DJ to notice me, pick on me real quick. So
yeah, when you 19, first time out of the town, living on your own in your first big boy apartment,
you don't need
I don't need anything. I don't need anything, bro. Like it's women in here, and I'm on my first Corona. Like, let's go.
I ain't even supposed to have this Corona. Let's go.
Exactly. My boy had to sneak this for me for the 5. Like, come on now. So with the collaboration though, how have you maintained basically like the collaborative spirit? How have you maintained keeping in collaboration with other DJs while also still being competitive? Because it is a market nonetheless, but being competitive without you know, without beef, without friction, without like callous competition, as I would call it.
So let's just say I was coming up to a highway, and you know how that you had that sign, that meme sign where it was like something on this side and something this way, and it was
Mhm.
like on the left hand side it said club DJ, fight with people, drama, get paid late, stay out late, don't get nothing, the late night let out club, none of that. Corporate DJ, no competition, easy, fun, free drinks, free food, new places I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Sign me up. I hate that. I hate that turn and got
Yep.
right off on that
Yep.
bit. So,
Okay. Yeah, that's that,
um,
bro. You
like,
you actually you nailed that really really well, bro. That
so like when I meet DJs in this space, none of them ever meet me and be like, yo, I'm DJ BrightLight. I'd be DJing at this club, residency here. I DJ for this person. I do these on the, like, I don't meet none of them. I don't meet none of that. It'd be like, my name is DJ BrightLight. Can you DJ? Let me hear you. Oh, snap, you're great. Ain't you good on the mic? Come on, I got more stuff for you. I got more than I can handle. Come on.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
literally, I
It's
got too much stuff over here. Come on. Like, and
yeah.
it's just like, and I tell them, I tell every DJ I work with, I was like, I'm not here to take this gig from you. I'm not here to take your job. I'm just here so that to help. And so that whenever they get done, they get like, yeah, he filled in great for you. Or he did a great job. There was no issues. And every single time, that's what I get. And it's just like I get people like, yo, I'm trying to book you. I'm like, go through the person that booked me the first time. If they like, all right, they want me again, they have
Yeah.
no problem saying, hey, they want you again. Here you go. And like when you start to deal with people that look at life and look at this DJing that way,
Yeah.
you don't want to go back and deal with people that's trying to throw dirt on your name or try to say, oh, he is a trash DJ or he ain't got this. I met a DJ in the club and he walked up to me and he was like, yo, I'm DJ so and so. It's like, I don't really mess with DJs that DJ off of controllers. I just like vinyls and turntables. I looked at him, I smiled, and I said, hi, I'm DJ BrightLight. I DJ on controllers. It's nice to meet you. And
Right.
just turned away. But it's because it's like, why? Is this
That,
DJ BrightLight start? Does this look like locks? No, bro. I'm starting my locks.
just cause 305.
I'm
Yeah,
done with you, bro.
that's interesting, bro. Like that was actually I remember when that was, I wouldn't call it an insecurity. Yeah, it's a little bit of like an insecurity, like maybe a what is that thing that people say, like imposter syndrome kind of situation, where I was just like, damn, yo, you know, I'm using a DJ, what is it called? A DJ, I'm about to say DJI, a SB, right? I'm like, I'm using the SB, man. I don't know if it's presentable. And I was like, man. And I remember actually you low-key spoke me out of it, because I remember talking to you about getting the new mark, I think the S7 with the motorized jog wheels and all that kind of stuff, and lifted it up. You were like, bro, do you really want to go to an event with a 60-pound
75. 75.
75-pound controller
Yes,
every gig? And I was like,
every gig.
75? Like, what the, like, nah. Like, so for me, I'm just like, also between corporate events and club events, you might wow a few people with scratching vinyl at a corporate event, but like you said
I don't want to
earlier,
hear that shit.
they just want to hear some music, bro. Like you over there,
Like,
like,
bro,
bro, it's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock on a Thursday, bro. Calm down. Like, calm down. Calm down. Remember when DJ BrightLight was just a playlist curator posing as a
talked
DJ?
about that. Yes.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I think that was really it, bro.
What?
I think that was what jump started everything, to be honest with you. Like the whole DJ BrightLight presents the Love Spell was a great, like, I don't even think I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I don't think anybody fucking listened to it.
You'd
I
be
don't think
surprised.
really.
So remember when I put it on MediaFire?
Yeah.
So because that was like the only real way to get people to like download them in bulk.
Yeah.
I looked back and Love Spelled Volume 3 had 1,000 downloads. When I looked at Love Spelled Volume 1, it was like 1,200 downloads.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, I was blown away by that. And to be honest with you, he said DJ BrightLight got hoes off that. So on Love Spell, on all of them, we got girls to say my name in like a very seductive way, or say Love Spell in a very seductive way.
I remember that.
That got me in more trouble than you could possibly think.
Oh, I mean, of course. Oh, what
did you? We're sitting there listening, like, whose voice is that? Well, like, I don't even know whose voice that is.
What bitch you had in the studio?
I wasn't even there when that got done.
I actually.
Oh, where's my voice at?
I don't remember who that was.
It was a couple different people. I think Jordan was one too. But yeah, man, it was fun. That was a good time. I liked it because it was like slow jams. I liked slow R&B or slow jams at that time. So it was for me to highlight like some of the classics that people slept on because we were just listening to the same one over and over again.
Yeah, we do that. We do that here, bro. We're grown, bro. We do that here. We drop names.
Exactly, bro. We'll be all right.
This is not, you know, no one has.
That mixtape's 10 years old. I'm
okay. I thought no one heard it or listened to it. I thought.
Bro, remember I made CDs. I had to make CDs for certain people. That's when CDs was not. It wasn't gone, but it was in a phase. Yeah. I made CDs for people and dropped them off. Hand signed, Love Spelled.
What a moment. I think that was it though. Like having dropped that mixtape, I don't know what people were expecting, but the fact that it was curated and it was intentional was like, oh yeah, all right, he doing his DJ thing. He might not have decks yet. But that boy putting out playlists. And honestly, hold on. Keeping a buck. We all let the love spells ride one time.
Justin, you're a hater, bro.
We gotta pop this chat overlay out. Hold on.
I definitely got a lot of love from that though. I ain't gonna count.
No, that was a moment, bro. That was a moment. Invented the stream farm with them numbers.
I didn't, bro, because it wasn't. So it was like 4 or 5 years later after I dropped it, and in my mind, I wasn't thinking too much of it. But they sent me an email saying I had to move it or I had to do something or log in to keep it like valid. So I logged in, and then they had updated it, and it actually showed like stats and stuff. I was like, oh snap, let me look. And I said 1,000. I was like, nah, bro.
That boy went MediaFire Platinum, boy.
Yeah,
man. Nah, but you know what though? To get 1,000 downloads on MediaFire is
something.
That's wild, bro. Because that platform is like you have to. It's not like you're searching for like that's direct people, direct traffic. Like I got the link, and that's why I'm here.
Exactly. So, but if we. I did get a lot of love on social media too. A couple people were shouting out like that. I remember when I used to drop it, a lot of people like I'm tuned into that Love Spell. I like it. So I'm not gonna cap. I pride myself on like dropping a perfect playlist of songs. I remember going through like making sure this song came after this song.
Yeah, that's
gonna have an interlude. I had him do a whole interlude in there, bro. Had Alex do a whole interlude. You did, remember? You did a whole interlude poem, bro. You forgot? Crazy.
Yeah, because it was a weak poem, bro. I probably wrote that like that week. It wasn't my best work, Paul. It wasn't my best work. Now the question becomes, would you do it again?
Yeah. So right now I have a playlist on Spotify called Love Spell Infinity with the infinity sign. And it has all of the love spell from 1, 2, and 3. And I'm adding stuff to it now. You want me to drop that link?
Yeah, man, drop the link. Definitely drop the link.
Where I drop it at?
You can throw it in the chat.
And you'll post it?
Yeah. Throw it in both the chats. Throw it in the green room and then throw it in the main chat too.
I'm gonna throw it in the green room. And I can drop it on my what's it called? I gotta find it though. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna sit here and be like it's like crazy. But it was fun. Like it's different. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, bro, that was, college ingenuity. I feel like at our big age now, we could always benefit off of just a little bit of college ingenuity. All right, I got
we ain't getting that time back again, boy. I wish we could. I wish we could get that.
I feel like there's nothing stopping us. Every time I say this, every time there's nothing really stopping us from knocking out. Let me just drop this link real quick in the YouTube chat for everybody. I know you're on the
Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What were you saying?
I just feel like there's nothing really stopping us from exercising a little college ingenuity and bringing back like these ideas. I mean, we're doing college ingenuity right now. There's no difference between this and a night of December 20th, 2010. Well,
it's a big difference. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But so I don't know how you feel about this or believe it or not. But as we age, we lose. There's only a very few amount of people that have the same like fire and desire from when they were 18 when they turn 40, 30, even 35, 40, 50 because of how life be life.
Bro, I mean, yes. Number one, 100%. I 100% agree with you on that. I feel like when you're, and I feel like part of the reason outside of just life be life, and it's like we end up growing and yeah, our palates change, but everything also always has to be so buttoned up. And we lose so much of the ambition trying to button shit up when it's just like, nah, remember when you were dead broke and you just did shit. Like it had nothing to do with the money. You just did shit. And because you did shit with that passion and that spark in your eye, everybody was like, bro, I got no choice but to support this motherfucker because
exactly
how hard they going.
Like we wouldn't right now just leave the house, go to the bar, and just get shit faced and leave and figure out how we get home. But that's what we used to do back in the day.
I'm mad you used that example. Like you could have said something else. But yes, to your point, yeah, bro. It's just like, and I think about that sometimes myself. Like I'm always like, oh man, I want to do this project. I'm like, oh well, I should push it out for 6 months and get it done in 6 months and just and I'm like, bro, why? Like just do that shit now.
Right.
Like,
and that's a big thing we do a lot. We say we're gonna do this, and instead of just like let's just get this stuff, like get it going.
Yeah,
but I don't know why it turns into that. Is it like a subconscious thing? But almost everybody gets like that. Like even an example with like artists and celebrities are people that create stuff. When they have 50 people following them or watching their streams, they do a bunch of stuff. But once they get to 500,000, 100,000, they stop dropping stuff once a week to once a year. It's like we used to drop stuff almost once every day.
But I also think there's a flip side to that. You're explaining something, you're describing something that's kind of on the flip side. Because what I was gonna say is like, and you, I think you might have even been talking to me about this with streaming, for example. It's like I cannot remember a time when I would go live or I would do things on social media and not have people pouring in. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So when you start streaming, it's like that one. It's this old video from Instagram where the guy goes live on Instagram. He's like, all right, y'all, I'm on live on Instagram. I know I got friends. All right. And eventually he's just like fuck this, I'm getting off, because it's like it's a
Nobody
little
popped
humbling,
up.
right?
Yeah.
And I feel like as you get into your 30s, your mindset is, or our mindset sometimes is, I don't want to have to start over from like scratch. I don't ever want to have to start from zero. And the reality is, like, this streaming shit is humbling. It's like, yo, my first couple streams, I think last year.
That was funny. No, go ahead, because you was like waiting on somebody to pop in and be like, "Yo, what's good, Alex?"
Yeah, bro. I'm like, okay, all right, the camera's on, baby, we live, and it's like,
hey,
all right, I'm gonna give it a look.
Sitting there. Hey, I was sitting there like, should I say? Nah, I'm gonna let him sweat it out. Let me see you cook now.
Hey, a couple of these streams, I've been like, hey, I see my number done went up. I see my number done went up. Go ahead, go ahead and hit that chat real quick for you, boy. I see you in there. You know what I mean?
Bro, I used to be the same way.
But it's crazy because, you know, when we talk about good knocking, we always talk about 2011 when the numbers was crazy. We were breaking the servers and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. But this is like, we be forgetting about that other show, you know, when we would be like, hey, how many people tuned in right now? I don't know. How many people using the hashtag right now?
No hashtags? It's been an hour.
It's been an hour, bro. We've been an hour.
This is our best show. You said people was gonna be talking to us. Refresh. Make sure you put it on recent.
I mean, I remember starting off the very first stream. I mean, I did some opportunistic shit. It worked out in my favor, but like, it started from zero. And I like that quote where everyone says it now. It's like, everyone starts at zero. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's what kills people's like, well, you know, bro, I have 10,000 followers across all platforms, but I also recognize that there's an algorithm, right? And I also recognize that I have to give a value to why somebody would want to watch the stream. You know how many streams I pass by on Instagram, Twitter? I didn't even know you can go live on Twitter.
That's new to me.
I didn't even know. And I saw somebody live and I was like, this is crazy. Like, you can go live on Twitter.
Just the spaces.
Nah, this is definitely, bro, you can go live on Twitter directly from your phone.
What? I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, we're live on Twitter right now. Just you and I just chilling on the feed. Just chilling crazy. There. So it's like, oh, like you gotta relearn, you gotta be a beginner again at all of this stuff. Streaming has been around forever. Like Twitter used to have Periscope, but it's like, yo, just because people been following me on Twitter for 10 years doesn't mean that they're just gonna go, oh, this nigga's doing something, let me go jump into it.
Tap in.
Nah, that's not how it works. So it's like, to me, that's really it. You know, it's just a matter of like, yo, like I think a lot of times, I'm not gonna say people because I feel like we're all susceptible to it, but like we just be afraid of having to start all over.
Nah, you're right. And I'm gonna say this: I've seen people who started streaming with me, and we had 1 people in there for months, and now they're at like 15, 20, 45 people in there. Some people even more, and it's just like, you see it happening every day. People are just growing their fan bases and growing that collective. And it's not easy because I've been doing it for a long time. And I was blessed to be rated one time by somebody that rated me with like over 600 people. And I was just sitting there. Yeah. I was sitting there with my one person talking to him. And I think it was Thanksgiving. So I was in a decent mood, just playing the game, chilling, sitting back. And I have my notifications so I can hear it. And then all of a sudden, my raid notification went off. And I've been raided before, like 5 people, 2 people, 1 people. So I'm like, all right, it's another raid. And it went from one person to 600 people. Like, that is one of them I had set up real quick. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Oh, snap, I got raided. And then you just watch the number go up, and then so it's like, it's a crazy feeling, and it's a good rush. I'm not gonna lie to you, but that happened one time, and out of like, let's say 100 times I've been streaming. So it's like, you gotta find that energy sometimes just to keep going, talking to yourself sometimes.
Bro, I mean, you were on my 4-hour stream event. Like that third hour, I was like,
hey, well, it was at least somebody supposed to be here saying what's good, Alex, right now, but I didn't even got that yet.
yeah,
So what do I do? And I think I said it's like that's something you probably got to work on because you're not used to it
yeah,
because everybody has somebody to watch already to follow or to
yeah,
stream. So it's like you gotta kind of like nudge your way into this new space. But that's
yeah,
the fun thing about it because over it, you develop and you learn how to become a streamer and how to figure out how to get interactions. Because there's some people they may just start watching you just off of how you're playing the game by yourself.
yeah.
And
I mean, but here's the thing, and I'm glad you mentioned that part there. Is like that to me is like the big thing with streaming, right? Is like on Twitch, you have, and this was actually gonna be my next question. So I'm glad we're in this pocket right now. But like with Twitch, you have the gaming side of like, okay, people are gonna watch you play the game. When it comes to like the conversation and like me on camera, oh baby, there ain't no game. Like it's just me. So it's like I think it makes it a little bit more raw and a little bit more vulnerable when it's just like, damn, bro, at least somebody sent me a compliment or something. Like,
exactly.
But at the same time, I go on TikTok and I started studying the whole TikTok live situation as I was coming up with this idea to do this live stream. And bro, there's people with thousands, 5,000 followers who will have 6 viewers, who will have 1 or 2 people watching their stream. So it's not, the followers have nothing to do with it. It's just like you literally just got to be consistent. Like everyone wants a podcast, right? And the first one they think about sometimes is like Joe Rogan. And I'm like, do you know that Joe Rogan is on episode like 9,000? You know that, right? Like Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's podcast is 3 hours long. Like this man has been podcasting since 2009. You just heard about it in the last 4 years, maybe 3 years. So
And now you want to be on part of his train.
yeah, now you want to try to
You got time invested, a lot of it.
live the life he lived. Like,
What happened? I lost you. I lost Alex. What am I gonna do? It was my buddy, my friend.
I'm
Bring
here.
him
You good?
back. Bring him back.
You good? I'm here. I'm here. You got me. You hear me?
I'm here. I'm here now.
1, 2, and 2.
I
Yeah.
lost you, bro. I lost you.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, it's not gonna cooperate.
It's done. What's going
Yeah.
on?
Remember, I told you, bro. Like my spot. Hold on. Oh,
No.
man. You can hear me?
I can hear you still.
All right, cool. All right, let's
No.
wrap and get into this final segment.
Why? Why?
I'm rooting for you. Damn, bro. It's the worst.
No.
Shout out to Spectrum. They told me there's nothing they could do about it. They basically were like, I'm in an interference zone. But the last bit here that I want to do with you is a little bit of a this versus that. A little quick fire segment here so folks can kind of get to know you a little bit. All right, let's get into it. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you're going to be choosing this or that in a scenario. You can speak on it if you want to, or you can just keep on moving on. All right. All right, here we go. First one. This or that. Would you rather have a $5,000 camera to shoot your content and events with, or a $5,000 drone?
Oh, drone, no question.
Okay. What drone falls into like 5,000? I can't even
Who
think of.
knows?
But
I
that.
want it.
All
I
right.
want it.
All right. All right.
I want it.
Cool.
I know it'll probably have like a zoom, multiple cameras. It'll have like there's cameras now that do like fucking thermal, do
Yeah.
a couple different types of signatures that they can detect. So I'll definitely be playing with some shit like that. Night
Yeah.
vision, all of that.
So there's a DJI store in the middle of Wynwood, and they had a drone flying over the area. And I promise you, the drone was about the size of my desk, bro. It was
I've seen
huge.
one.
It was
Walmart
huge.
has them for delivery.
Oh yeah. I remember when they were talking about that.
I seen it in the parking. It filled up dang near half the parking spot. It's real.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Next one.
All right. Would you rather this is that traditional church wedding or a rustic wedding? I'm pretty sure you've done so many rustic weddings here in the Bay.
I like the rustic one. I'm not gonna cap. That's been like outside of the elements of Florida, which you can't even thought. I like it.
Okay. Wow. All right. This is a good one here. 90s R&B or 2000s R&B?
So we grew up in 2000s R&B. So like my favorite artists are like The Dream, Trey Songz, like that stuff like that. Jeremiah, Lloyd. So I'm gonna say 2000s R&B. Even though we probably I've been played out personally because I've done a lot of 90s R&B type parties, but I like some good 2000s R&B.
I personally feel like 2000s is actually better. I've always felt that way. I've always felt that way. All right. Let's see. Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame?
All right.
Yeah. They get tougher. The
one when Doctor Strange does the 14 million, that's the one I'm going with.
Infinity War. Okay. Okay.
Endgame was all right, but I think I like Infinity the beginning better.
That's crazy. Infinity War felt so incomplete. I just watched Infinity War the other day and it just pissed me off all over again. This is a really good one, bro. If how do I want to prep this one? If aliens came to Earth with a football team and you had to choose a college football team to represent Earth, would you choose the 2001 Miami Hurricanes or the 2008 Florida Gators?
The Florida Gators? I hate the Gators with a passion. Anything about the Gators.
But were they the better team?
No, the Hurricanes will always be the better team in my books. There's nobody that has that many first round draft picks on one squad. Nobody.
I mean, Florida had draft picks too. They just all went to jail.
Not that many. And their quarterback didn't develop in the NFL. The 01 quarterback, he was all right, but he at least played in the NFL. At least he played.
Ken Dorsey?
Yeah.
No, he didn't, bro. I love the 2000. I love the 2001 Miami Hurricanes as much as anybody in the world does. But Ken Dorsey did not see a snap in the NFL. You know why? You want to know why? Because he was behind Alex Smith. It's the one story. Remember that one day I was you weren't there when I was talking to you guys about Alex Smith. I don't like Alex Smith. I don't like him. I don't understand the hype. I think he was trash. I think he was overrated. I think he was mediocre. I have nothing but bad things to say about Alex Smith. He's not the guy. I don't know how he was in the NFL that long, but I promise you, if the San Francisco 49ers did not draft Alex Smith and they kept Ken Dorsey, Dorsey would have been him.
I believe it.
That's my piece on it. So you choose the Miami
Hurricanes every time.
Good choice. This is a good one too. An hour drive on I-4 or an hour drive on Alligator Alley.
Alligator Alley all day. They know how to drive. Them motherfuckers will drive. I-4. I just got off I-4 a few hours ago, and they were doing 65 as if that's the posted speed limit. Alligator Alley, I'm getting past doing 80, and I can live with that. I respect any
Ain't no way, bro. You're not doing 80. You're not doing 80 on Alligator Alley.
No, 70. You're right.
You're
The speed
not
limit.
doing 70. You're not doing 70 on Alligator Alley.
The speed limit is 65, ain't it?
You might do 67. You're not doing 70.
Nah, bro.
Between
I've had
listen to this. Between it's not traffic on Alligator Alley, but there's cars. So between the cars and between the state troopers on Alligator Alley, bro, you're not doing 70.
All right. You're right. You actually beat me. You beat me. I'll take I-4 because I haven't ran into that many police that often, and it's 3 lanes. So yeah, I'll do I-4.
You know what, bro? I'm gonna be honest. I don't choose neither one. I would go like I-4. I mean, Alligator Alley. You don't have service, right? That's number one. You pay $3 to drive on the road. That's number two. There's state troopers all up and through there.
They wait and they wait on the humps. It's so annoying.
They wait on the humps after the bridges. So it's like you go up on a little bridge and boom, he's right there. That's number. And then 2, it's like my least favorite road. And every time I take Alligator Alley, I get mad. You know, one time I didn't have cash to pay the toll. And you know they wrote me a ticket. Like, not even on some like, oh, we're gonna send you a ticket in the mail, just drive through. No. They wrote me a ticket on the spot, and I had to pay the ticket cash. I had to mail. It was $6.
Wow.
I had to mail $6 to Tallahassee, bro.
I would have been heated.
I was very upset.
But you had to, because they would have cut that. They would have took that insurance from you.
I should have just drove through the Sun Pass, is what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, you decided to stop. As soon as they said we gotta write you a ticket, skirt. Right, who a ticket?
Nah, I'm not doing that's 3 stars, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna start describing stuff in Florida on GTA terms. That's 3 stars, bro. You wilding right now. That's a helicopter, bro. You need to chill. That's too much. All right. I like this one. Do you prefer Sunday morning brunch or Saturday morning brunch?
I like Saturday mornings because, like, I don't know if you've ever done this, but like, stay out from brunch all the way to like 12, 1 o'clock at night, sometimes even later.
Very, very daring in your 30s, bro. That is very, very daring activities. But yes, I've done it before.
One of the last brunches I remember is we went out on New Year's Day. Was you with me or no? We went to a brunch on New Year's, got lit, went home, and slept through the New Year.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, and we slept through New Year's, like, because we got home late. But yeah, I remember that vividly.
I prefer Sunday, actually, bro.
Sunday?
Yeah. It's there's something about Sunday morning that just feels like brunch. It just feels like let's cap off the weekend, and then you go out and you enjoy yourself and you get home by like 7 o'clock. It's straight.
But it's got to be a brunch with mimosas, not hard liquor. Because the mimosa, like the champagne, that gets you bubbly.
Who's drinking hard liquor at brunch?
That's what they do nowadays.
What is going on?
That's what these young folks be doing.
I haven't been to brunch in a while. I actually haven't. I haven't brunched. I want to say in like shit. I haven't brunched this year.
That's what the young folks be doing, man.
Hard liquor. What was the mimosa?
Bottles on bottles.
Yeah, I'm not young anymore. I can tell. All right, and the last one. This is a tough one. A night in Asia in 2015. Or a night in Bulls Club in 2012.
That's not hard. Do you know what Bulls Club was, bro? It was a C. You could literally, once you walked in, cause some chaos on the right side, swither your way to the bar, get in some trouble at the bar, and then hop on the dance floor and dance with somebody new. All within the first 15 minutes of getting there.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. It's a valid point. That is a very, very valid point, bro.
But the only place I do miss, and it's still running, but I probably won't go there anymore, is Peabody's on Wednesdays.
Oh God, nah, bro. I went to Peabody's. I went to Peabody's a couple of. Oh, I went to Peabody's during homecoming weekend, and yeah, bro, it's not my jam. It's not my speed.
Nah, it's not
And
nobody gym no more,
you know
bro.
what? I forgot to mention in the list of places that closed down. Whiskey North.
Yeah, they're renovating it. It's probably gonna be a storefront now. Yeah,
Shit.
gutted it. They
Oh yeah, you
gutted.
said renovated, bro. That thing is not renovated. Whiskey North is gone.
You know, he just invested thousands of dollars to redo the floor, to redo everything in there, just to let it go. And
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest issue a lot of places be doing. They want to do something, but they don't think the business mind of it. Because I think he couldn't pay something, but he
yeah.
could get the place renovated.
Wow,
And you went through the process of doing all this renovation. Now it's no longer there anymore.
bro. It is.
Like it
I
was,
drove by and I'm like, oh, they. You know the meme of Bugs Bunny cutting Florida off from the
yeah,
rest of the
they
country.
cut
Like
everything
that's
out
how
there.
clean of a cut it is off from the rest of
Kitchen
the.
and all, bro.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing in that spot.
but you know what, man? Not for nothing. Not for nothing. Whiskey North was that was just
I,
one place I would not get a drink from. Like,
wow.
yeah, I would not get a drink from there. I'm gonna leave it at that. Good vibes. Good vibes. Good vibes. But I
I'm
would
not
not get a.
drinking.
I went one time and I was just like, yeah, I can't forget that. I was like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So you say Blues Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go
Because
with Blues
Asia,
Club.
you had to be drunk to realize. Every time we were in there, we were drunk. But when we finally were able to go there and be sober and realize that it was a hallway,
I mean,
a
the
hallway,
one
a
thing I
hallway.
will say, the one thing I will say about Asia was any night I went to Asia, I knew I was gonna see some baddies that I didn't have
In a hallway.
oceanography with. Okay, they weren't in any of my classes. Like it was just fresh new faces, fresh new beauty that I could be like, okay, let me step up in here and try to make an impression or something like that. Bulls Club, I'm gonna see everybody that I know already. All of the whole BSU board is in here right now getting lit.
And you got because
And
you got involved all on campus, so you
yeah,
had
I
to
was
deal with
I was
all that.
involved. I'm gonna go with Bulls Club too, only because the specific year that I put 2012 was like the end of Bulls Club. No, I ain't gonna. No, it was not. That was like probably peak Bulls Club.
Parties every Saturday,
Peak Bulls Club. Yeah, like
home
flyers,
parties,
foam
stupid
party.
stuff,
Um,
absolutely stupid stuff.
yeah, yeah. Wow. I, 2012, 2013 was a magical year, bro. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Just chaos. Yeah.
What a time!
What a time to be alive, bro. What a time to be alive. But hey, that's pretty much all I got, yo. So I appreciate you for hopping on.
Yes, sir.
While I got the Spectrum running and it's still up and good, I think we probably just lick our chops and kind of call it a night. And not to mention, we're almost at 3 hours, and that's damn near 2 live streams because I
Yeah,
kind of planned for these to be 90 minutes, but it's all good, man. It was good conversation. So I
definitely.
appreciate you. Go ahead and I know your followers are tuned in and my followers are tuned in. Go ahead and
Mhm.
drop your socials and drop your call to actions.
I mean, everything is DJ BrightLight on Twitter, on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube, Facebook. It's all DJ BrightLight. I'm going to work more to be a more active social media guy this year. Um, I do have a drone page where I drop drone footage. Um, I don't really have much to promote because most of my business is like non-promotable and you can't attend it. So I like to post out when I'm there so you can see stuff of that nature. But yeah, like I'm gonna drop my YouTube for my drone stuff.
All right.
And
You got a
I'll be
YouTube.
working on dropping more stuff in the near future because this is what I like to do on my spare time. Fly a drone around the city.
All right. Filmed by Paul Smith. That's what's up, bro. I did not know you had one. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure I subscribe to that for real.
Yes,
Um,
filmed by a Paul Smith. Why is the A not there? Because there's like a million of us, but you happen to meet the one and only, the one of a couple thousand.
bro,
Paul Smith.
you know how many Alex Augusts I found out there are out there, bro. Look like a fucking multiverse. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's this one dude that I've known since the MySpace days, and we actually became friends on MySpace, became friends on Facebook, became friends on pretty much. We've been keeping up with each other, but then like out of nowhere, bro, just a bunch of Alex Augusts all over the place, bro. It's crazy.
Damn.
It's crazy. Here I was thinking that. Well, I mean, it's good because go ahead and look me up. You'll probably find another Haitian dude somewhere, and I'll use that.
In another part of the world.
No, they're all in Florida, bro. All of them are in Florida. All of them, bro. Every single one of them is in Florida. Even the girl.
Yeah, it's an Alex August girl.
Yeah.
Damn.
Alexandra August. I'm like, all right, well, so much for that. Like, damn, 10 years ago, it was just two of us, and now it's like 90. That's crazy.
Deep.
Yeah, we deep. But yeah, man. So we'll check that out. I just subscribed, but for just the, you know, I appreciate you for coming on, man. We got new videos coming up. I'm not gonna be doing a stream next week. Because next week is the little bit of time that I'll try to squeeze in some birthday activities and probably my final trip of the year. But I'm gonna come back, VividLife TV, on January 3rd, and we will have brand new guests. Basically, damn near every stream. If there's streams that I can get guests for, I'm definitely gonna have somebody hop on with me. This was pretty dope, having the green screen, having all of this communication, and having the conversation for sure. So y'all check me out. Of course, visit the website, alexaugust.com. Y'all know that that's where all things Alex are going to be at, everything from blogs. My latest vlog video from Art Basel is dope. Check it out. Every single song on there is an original song that I wrote, but it also tells the story of just what I had going on that week, everything from being on Deco Drive to attending different events from around the city, in Miami, Overtown, and of course, ending out at the Culture Freedom Festival that took place on December 10th. So check out my channel. That's the latest video that's on there right now. And other than that, bro, it's 11:23. I've paused like 4 phone calls that came in. So I'm gonna wrap up the night, man. And y'all check out all things, of course, on my end. I am Alex August. That's Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook as well. So we are gonna go ahead and sign out, bro. Any last words? None?
Nice. FMG, baby.
Let's go. We out.
We out, baby.